Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Reality Realness with 3 S's. I'm your host, Chantele Francis, here with Mika from Entertainment in Color to talk about Love Island UK All-Stars episode 7, 8, and 9. How are we doing, Tamika? We haven't seen you since the premiere first 3 episodes. What's been going on?
So I did recap a few episodes on my own channel, but I was almost out. I was almost out of this season.
So where were you almost out, and what brought you back in, if you are back in?
So up to 7, I was just like, why we were still having the same conversations over it. There was no headway, there was no chemistry, there was no connections. Like, how is it that Georgia and Josh were like the strongest people in the villa, and then they broke?
Yeah.
So it was just like you could see that there was no genuine connections being built, and that's why everything kept fizzling out really quickly. And then they did what they did yesterday's episode.
Okay, so yesterday's episode brought you back in, but we have to start on episode 7. So you weren't sold yet on this season at this point. And we're basically at Arabella's after party with the boys, and we learn, well, people in the chat told me beforehand, but we learned that Arabella and Toby had a thing.
Yes.
So did you know about this thing before the episode?
No, and I'm still trying to get timing on this thing because he said it was a year and a half ago. And I was like, isn't that when you were with Chloe?
That's what I would think. So maybe remember when he was saying like, a big incident happened. Maybe Chloe, maybe they took a break or something, and him and Arabella had a thing, and maybe Chloe wasn't happy about it, and maybe
he was saying that. I mean,
I know,
but like, you know
how he likes to put the blame on the woman, right?
Right.
He's never done anything wrong, and they've always not, they don't speak to him correctly. They don't tell him what he needs to hear. They don't say that they're interested in him, and so I could very easily imagine that he did something that she wasn't happy about, and maybe she kicked off, or she just ghosted.
Right. Or she just tried to get back because she was just like, I can't deal with this, right? So I was so confused at the timing because the way he was saying the timing so nonchalant, and I was sitting there like, but you and Chloe were together for a year. You guys were on the show 2 years ago.
That's like you broke up yesterday.
Right?
Wait, so when did Chloe and Toby break up?
So I swear it was like almost right at the year mark.
Let's see. Toby and Chloe break up. Okay, when did Chloe and Toby break up? When did he have a fling with Arabella? People want to know. Okay. Chloe and Toby left Love Island 2021 villa together and broke up just over a year later. So that would be like September-ish of 2022. The news Chloe and Toby were no more came official in October 2022, a year and 2 months after they made it official in Love Island. Okay. Now, when did I want to hear the Arabella part. Okay, let's see if it's in the actual article here. However, this is when it all gets a little confusing. On All Stars, Arabella said she and Toby have history and dates back to a year and a half ago. She told Debbie that the pair slept together, which Toby told the boys they didn't, and they were sexting for a while. So Arabella has definitely got her wires crossed here. Wait, sorry. A year and a half ago would take us back to the summer of 2022 when Toby and Chloe were very much together. Well, what if they did something together before she was on the show?
So that's what I thought initially when they were saying it. And then it just, like, the way that they were making statements about the actual timing, it felt like there was some sort of crossover.
So maybe they were talking before he went on the show. And then when he came off the show, maybe they were sexting. or texting or whatever.
Oh, yeah, possible.
Because this still doesn't clear up the timeline.
Yep, not at all. Not for me.
It says, so Arabella definitely has got her wires crossed here. She didn't say she wasn't entirely sure of when this all happened. So it's looking as though it was more a year ago than a year and a half ago. Okay. If it was a year ago, actually, it was a year and a half ago. It could have been right when they broke up.
Right.
Like a year
Which is
and like
kind of what we were saying. Maybe whatever happened between them, he was just like out, and he was just kind of like what Molly's saying that Callum did. Like he just went and started going crazy with all these girls.
Oh my God. I need to know more about their relationship. I wonder why Chloe isn't talking. We have some friends here, though. Mary's here. Hello, Mary. Hi, Rachel. Yeah, I agree. I think Chloe doesn't care. I think she sees how much he's he's a boy.
I just think that Toby's so immature. Like there is no maturity. Already there, none. And granted, first relationship, first girlfriend, lasted a year, but even still, like he's just like watching him between the last two shows that we're watching him, he's not mature, not at all.
Not at all. Hi, Danita. Yes. Okay. So watch the episode and then come back. We're just starting at episode 7 now. So you got some time before we get to episode 9.
Definitely. And you didn't miss much on 7.
Well, that's true. Georgia does look a little bit sad. Georgia Steele. Just for the fact that like Arabella comes in and she does hear that they have some sort of history. Georgia Harrison thinks that Arabella is really funny and that she's ruthless. I have to say I like Arabella more this season than I did when she came on season 5. It could be because she came on as a bombshell and she interfered with certain relationships that I wanted to have some success. But I'm liking her more this time around. How about you?
I don't like her, but I'm sorry. She really left a bad taste in my mouth the last time she was in the show, and it's really hard for me to get over. That being said, I will agree with you that I don't feel like I feel like the last time, instead of being like a bombshell and like I felt like she was so rude and inconsiderate and just nasty about the way that she went after that relationship. Whereas here, I feel like she's a little more cordial. She's a little more, but also could be the type of people that she has to navigate around. Whereas that person, maybe she didn't care. So,
sorry, be more clear, please.
Okay. So I just feel like she was very microaggressive to Yewande when she took Danny.
So you think that if the person that she was maybe like say who does she end up getting? Say Georgia or whatever was a Black woman, you think that she might not be as respectful towards her if in pursuit of Toby in that situation.
Correct.
Okay. Okay, I can see that point for sure. I definitely did not appreciate the way that she interacted on season 5. I haven't seen it that recently, so I'm not as like kind of worked up about it, but I remember not liking her at all. And now I do like her a lot better, but it could be 100% for the reasons that you're stating. So
and people mature, like
in her 30s now. She was what, like, at late 20s when she first came on.
So it's also possible. That's also possible of why we're seeing like a different energy. I just feel like she is definitely a lot more respectful about the way she's having these conversations. She talked to everybody, and I didn't feel like she was like super highly aggressive, which I don't mind. If you want something, you go get it. I just did not like the way she spoke to Yewande as if, well, she didn't deserve to have that person, and the person wasn't giving Yewande like, oh no, I don't want to be with you. He was still going back and forth and acting as if it was a possibility for him to stay with her, but she was just acting like, oh no, he doesn't want to stay with you. You don't know what you're talking about, right? And so that's what I did not like about how she handled that situation. Definitely different.
How do you feel about the guys' outfits on this like rock night?
Oh, the guys were okay. Kaz's outfit was hot as hell.
The girls look good, but the
Yeah,
guys when they're talking with Arabella,
Molly
they look
looked
so stupid.
fabulous. I come to find out Kaz's outfit was Versace. Like
eBay has everything. I used to be obsessed with eBay back in the day.
Yeah.
I guess they're trying to bring it back, but
yeah,
uh
but it's also the UK. I don't know if we're getting second down, hand me down Versace in the US or Canada. So.
Rachel is saying, I wonder if Arabella changed because of season 5 backlash too. Absolutely. She might have learned and grown as to what people were feeling about the potential microaggressions that she was having towards Yewande. So she absolutely could have grown, but we also can't tell necessarily because she's not dealing with a Black person in her pursuit of a man.
So. Exactly. So that's why I'm saying it's possible that it could be one way or the other, right?
So what happens at the after party stays at the after party. I don't think anything is going to go down at this after party. These guys, in my opinion, are all whack. They're all whack.
Yes.
They're all whack.
I highly agree with you.
They do say that nobody's really coupled up. Callum thinks that you say that they're good together. He was talking about Molly, right?
No. I think
talking about
he was
Georgia?
talking about Georgia.
Okay, good. I mean, because I was just like, because he always has his face on when he's talking about Molly. It's that like he feels like he has to say nice things about her, but he doesn't actually want to be with her. And so, who is he coupled up with? He's in bed with who right now?
He at that point he was with Molly.
Yeah, so I think he's talking about Molly in this particular instant. But I felt that like he's not that into Molly anymore. Anyways, whatever. We'll get back to them.
Well,
anyways.
I see. I'm crossing over. So I swear that's after Molly and him had the conversation.
No. This is like the beginning of the episode.
Okay, so maybe
this is at the after party with Arabella. Like
right.
where all them they're talking. Some bitches like saying that he's extremely open, and Toby is it's like, are you shocked to see me? I'm like, I actually can't stand Toby. I'm
so then yes, he's talking about Molly because Toby and Georgia were still clearly like figuring things out.
What I'm tired about, and I hope that they fix this for next season of like the summer season. I'm open bullshit. I'm done with it. Okay. Like absolutely. You can be getting to know somebody, but like just because you say that you're open doesn't mean that you can be disrespectful. Just because you're open doesn't mean that the other person might not have some feelings for you. Just because you're open doesn't mean that they can't catch feelings, that they're not allowed to be affected by your actions. Like just because you say you're open just means that you haven't put a label on your relationship yet, but doesn't mean that feelings don't exist still. And so I'm sick of this. I'm open, but we're open. We're still open. It's early days. We're still open. Like if you are investing some time in somebody and you're cuddling and you're making out and you're kissing, and then you decide that you want to go and talk to somebody else, just because you're open doesn't mean that person that you're messing around with is not going to feel a type of way. And I'm just sick of Toby thinking that because they say that they're open, the other person's not allowed to have an emotional reaction.
Agreed. That being said, I'm going to give Toby this. He did ask her because she now changed, right? She explored all her options. She came back. Now all of a sudden she wants to be with Toby, says her. I don't believe a word she has to say. But
Arabella or Georgia?
Georgia, right? But then he did ask her. She's like, well, no, it's you. And he's like, so you want to be with me, so we're going to be exclusive. And she didn't answer the question.
Well, but the way that he was coming at her, I felt that he was like, what? So yeah, okay, so what, you want to be with me? Like, I think that the way that he was doing it was in a kind of a passive aggressive way.
Absolutely.
That I would not want to be like, well, like, I don't know what I feel like right now. Like, this is not how I want to have the exclusive conversation. Like, I think she was feeling like her back was up against the wall and being like, well, I don't know, like that, no, like maybe, but. And that's how I felt that she was taking this whole dynamic. So I
don't think either of them like each other.
Well, no, I don't think so at all.
And I think that's why we were getting the conversations we were getting, period. Because to me, if a guy said to me, so do you want to be with me? I would, even if I was pissed off with the way he's asking, I'd be like, hell yeah, I've already
So
showed you.
okay, so you're siding with this person that's Team Toby and thinks that Toby's moving correct the
I'm
whole
not
time.
Team Toby. I'm saying in that particular instance, the particular statement, I agreed with him because of how at the time Georgia was moving. I feel like she was hedging her bets on trying to stay with Toby because the public put them together and there was obviously some residual potential popularity from Love Island games that she thought maybe they could ride to the prize. And I still want to know, is there a prize? I still want to know.
Okay, so but Georgia, this guy person here is saying that George has been dissing Toby's age from day one. Why wouldn't he be open?
She has been.
But this is
they're a year apart.
But my point is, okay, yeah, I agree that they both don't like each other, but I also don't think that the way that he is moving is the way, like, if he's interested in her, like, I think they're both they're not nice. He's not nice to her. And like, I think that he's actually, he's rude and inconsiderate to the way that, even if it's true that she that she finds him like to be too young, I do think that he acts too young and immature. And I think that he's not like open with his feelings. And I think that he is a gaslighter. And so I still agree with the way that George has responded to the way that
that's
Toby.
The only thing we disagree on. Because I don't agree, because I think she is just as much of a game player and I think she's just as much of a gaslighter. So, but that's just my opinion on the situation.
See, I definitely don't agree. And so okay, so what was your opinion then on how Toby moved with Sally?
He's doing the exact same thing. That's why I'm saying to you, I don't disagree with you on how, but I also then was like, do you even like Sally? Because I'm not seeing it. You're not being, not even forceful. Like I said, it felt like Toby was a totally different person, because when he was in the original villa, he went after what he wanted, regardless of if he should have or not, but he went after what he wanted. I have not seen that with him and Sally, and I definitely haven't seen that with him in Georgia. I feel like he was just doing it to do it, and he didn't find somebody that he actually wants to pursue. Because look at the difference between later on how he's been moving with Molly compared to how he was moving with the last two people that we've watched.
Well, then also though, so do you think though, like, so say, I don't know how intimate Toby and Georgia have been, but like, do you think that Georgia should feel a type of way for the fact that he doesn't care about the fact that they've had intimate moments and that he's immediately wanting to move on with Molly?
Intimate moments or kissing?
I don't know. This person's saying kissing, but they've been cuddling, they've been kissing in bed. Like, I feel like she's feeling as though the intimacy that they're having in their relationship is something that of moving towards closed.
So this is my opinion with Love Island, and I do feel like with Love Island Allstars, it might be slightly different. They're slightly older. They have a little more skin in the game, right? Some of these people have children. So kissing to me doesn't mean that we are closed if we don't say we're closed, right? Kissing to me doesn't mean that we're exclusive if we don't say that we're exclusive. Now, if we're doing other stuff and being intimate in bed and all that, and hugging and cuddling and doing other things, I definitely agree that that's the line, right? But kissing, no.
I guess you consider intimate moments less connective than I do, because I think that you've also said in the past that you don't think kissing means that much, and I do.
No, I've said that I think kissing is probably the most intimate thing that you can do, but on Love Island, I feel like kissing means something different. Now, what I'm saying is, I think I would take to, because you're saying like in the summer you don't want this whole we're open. I agree with like here for Allstars, I don't agree with this whole being open, because you should be coming into the show kind of knowing what you want from a person, right? So you should be able to spend time with, because remember, it's all sped up, right? That's what they keep saying. You should kind of know whether or not you want to be with this person. I think these people are coming to play a game at this point. Now, In the regular villa, where these are brand new people, you're meeting brand new people, I do think being open to finding connections is more acceptable because you don't know these people.
In the regular season.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can agree with that. But for like watching this though and seeing
Yeah.
like it's the new vocabulary, right? Like you saw
Yeah.
Mitch last season. He's like, I'm open, we're open, we're still early days, we're open, we're open. And like when I hear that now, to me, it says that we're open is like, oh, I'm your placeholder for right now because I'm still looking for someone better. And that to me says that they're not willing to put in any energy and effort into making this into a relationship because they're waiting to see if somebody's better is coming along. And so the idea of just being open, yes, of course, early days, like talk to people, get to know people. But I think always being like, we're still open was like, well, you know what? If we're still open, that's fine. Just go see who you want. Like, I'm not interested in putting any more effort into you because you don't seem to be wanting to value what we're starting to build right now. It just,
Agreed.
to me, it just says that you're just not that into me. And so we're open. That means like you want somebody else. And so
I
I'm just,
would agree with that in this situation because a lot of these people, the only reason why I'm even saying that is because a lot of these people have either dated, connected, or like it's literally the cases of the exes. Like these people know each other,
so
so it's
boring.
kind of like you should know whether or not you want to explore something with this person or not,
So
right?
Georgia does say though that she felt as though she wasn't actually like open for the fact that like they were doing bits or whatever when she's
Mhm.
talking to Hannah, and so it's kind of upset her. And like I can understand that being like if I was feeling that so I was sharing intimate moments with somebody, and then they're just going around and saying that they're open,
Right.
like okay, yeah, maybe we haven't had that conversation yet, but like maybe have the conversation with me and being like, hey, listen, like I know we've been getting close and we've been sharing some moments together. I want to start talking to Molly. Like it doesn't mean I don't want to keep talking to you, but like at this point I still want to pursue Molly a little bit. And then it would give her the opportunity to say like, no, I want to be in a relationship with you, but I feel like he also robbed her of that, and then it's kind of vilifying her for having feelings about the fact that he's actually exploring his options with his being open.
I agree in some respects, and I don't agree. I feel like yes, there's some points where I agree with that's what he did, but there's some points where I also understand why he was making the statements that he was in the beginning because I feel like
I'm not
she
talking in the beginning. I'm talking about like this situation, like for her right now
right.
being
So
upset.
what I'm saying is, I just feel like they don't like each other at this point. I feel like these conversations were circular because I feel like it was done by this point.
I mean, I
And
think
they
that
were
they
just
shouldn't have bothered
continue.
at all. So Arabella is looking for a vibe. She wants a connection. She wants to laugh. And so she, you know, she wants to be. She loves the physical touch and words of affirmation as her love languages. Um, and so yes, so Georgia wants to see who is going to walk out next to Arabella to see who she maybe has the most connection with or like whatever. But she just walks out first by herself. So that wasn't really a tell on anything. She talks to the girls, and the girls say, she says the girls that all the guys say that they're open. They ask her who her top three were. She won't say. And she does mention that Toby and her had a brief thing, and they were texting a little bit. So I wish that she did say who her top three were. Who do you think they would have been?
I'm not sure. And I also did like that she clarified to Georgia. She's like, it was, like before whatever you guys had going on. So that's what I'm saying. Like she's been really respectful. I feel like if we had gotten season 5, Arabella should have been like, oh yeah, I want him, I want him. And yeah, very messy about it.
So Georgie doesn't play the Toby situation. And then you see cut to the guys asking Toby, or Chris asking Toby if he had sex with Arabella, and he says nah. Obviously I understand like that was kind of a bold question to ask like on national television for Chris. What, say again?
It was weird.
Yeah, I thought it was weird, but how do you feel about the fact that he ended up lying about it? I don't know. It's just that's also strange.
Who lied about?
Toby saying nah, and then Arabella saying yes later on in the episode.
Oh, I didn't realize she said yes.
Yeah, she said like, yes, we did.
I'm telling you, I need to understand this timing. Something about this timing is not right. Something about this timing is not right. Because why lie? Why lie? Why lie? Oh, Lord.
um, so um so Arabella though and Chris are having a conversation and they ask about like what happened with Molly. And you know, it wasn't going with Molly. Like I know Chris was being bold there and he was you know, trying to see if he could stare at each other's eyes and make each other fall in love. But yeah, that didn't work because Molly is all in on Callum still, even though she's not quite honest with her feelings, in my opinion. Chris thinks that Arabella is quite confident. How do you feel about this initial conversation with Chris and Arabella and their kind of connection?
Okay. I really like Chris and I really don't like Arabella. So it's really hard for me to sit through their conversations because while they're I don't necessarily see any chemistry, and it just might be because I am very colored about my personal opinion about Arabella.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about anybody else, but I really like Chris and I want him to find somebody, and I do feel like on paper probably Arabella would work for him. I just don't like her.
Well, he talks about her having really nice lips, and she talks about wanting to get to know him. And then he says, like, oh, I want to see your lips wrapped around sandwich, apparently. He's just so goofy sometimes.
Yeah.
Callum talks to Molly, and okay, this conversation is a little bit confusing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure it's confusing for Callum. So she doesn't know what his intentions are, and he doesn't know what her intentions are. And he says that he's always coming up to her and asking her about, like, you know, pulling her for a chat and like approaching her, and she's never doing any of that. She's been exploring some of these other people in the villa with Chris and a little bit with Toby, and I don't know if it started happening with Josh yet, but you know, she's been exploring a little bit and not coming and talking to him at all. But then she's kind of upset with him not saying how he feels about her. What do you think about this whole dynamic?
So,
oh yeah, and you watch this season of them getting together, so you also have some more context of like this season.
So this was my thing. I know we're saying that we don't think that Callum necessarily wants to be with Molly, but I do feel like he was trying to get them on the same page.
Mm-hmm.
I do feel like he was doing the right thing by being
honest.
Yeah, like honest,
forthright,
clear, and forthright. Like, if we're gonna try, let's try. Maybe we could get it back. Maybe we can figure it out. Or if we're gonna move on. But you're not even talking to me. Like, you're not even approaching me. You chose me in this situation, and then you're not like really doing anything. So I, at this point, feel put out because I watched you do all these things, and if I go do what I came here to do, it's going to hurt your feelings. Oh no, I know that that's what you plan to do anyway. But that's making the assumption that that's what he planned to do anyway. And I kind of, I discussed this on my show. I kind of feel like if we were going to get this, I kind of wish they didn't drop them both at the same time. I kind of wish they had put Callum in, let him get Georgia.
Yeah, or like, yeah, just like start exploring his options as a single person coming into the villa,
right,
having no idea that his ex-girlfriend is going to come in the villa,
right,
and then he can genuinely form a connection. And then when she comes into the villa, you could be like, oh boy, well, like, okay, I really are gonna have to address what's going on between us because I've started something with somebody else new. Now I need to be clear. We both need to be clear about what we want here because I've already started something with somebody else.
Right. And then maybe if he ended up leaving Georgia for Molly, she would more appreciate it because she kind of was making it seem like none of the girls want you, you don't want any of the girls. And I'm like, that's not the case. That's not what was happening.
So Ozzy here is saying that Callum gave Molly a 7-day grace period and she failed and pushed him away. Molly flirted with Mitch, kissed Chris, chatted up Josh and Toby, and never pulled Callum for a chat once. He had enough. I'm Team Callum. I think that Molly is playing a game.
I was like, damn, not the second show that I agree with how Callum is moving.
I mean, I wasn't a fan of like Shauna kind of like latching him onto him and like making him not be able to breathe. So I remember he was suffocated in his relationship with Shauna. And so as much as I knew Shauna was going to be hurt, like I thought it was okay for him to move on with Molly in that situation because I'd be like, he just wants to get out.
And I felt like at that point they were in such a strong place that he knew that if like I knew that he was into Molly, because he would not have left the strong place he was with in Shauna, like potential to win the show, if it wasn't real with Molly.
But I like in this situation with him and with Molly and Callum right now, I'm just like, Molly, you need to decide what you want because you're not being clear. I agree with Callum. You chose me to be in a couple. Like, so that means that you want to pursue a relationship or continue our relationship or work on a relationship or speak about something, but then we're not having any conversation whatsoever. So what do you want? And then for her to be putting it back on him, be like, well, what do you want? It's like, well, I keep on coming to you to have conversation with you and you just keep on putting it on to me. Like, she's just really irritating. She's just very pretty. She's very pretty, and she, to me, just doesn't have any real substance. And it's just really frustrating that she gets to have all the options, but she gets to have zero substance.
I try to give her grace, right? Like, because I'm like, well, maybe there's something that we're missing. Maybe he would tell her things that wasn't true, and so she can't believe his words. She's because she kept saying, I will see if like how he moves. Like, it's like she doesn't believe the words coming out of his mouth. And so I was trying to give her grace that's the possibility.
Well, I think she's testing him without him knowing what the test is.
Right.
Like, so it's like, okay, well, you didn't do this, this, and this. And he's like, well, you didn't tell me that I needed to do this. Like, what do you want? I don't know. He's like, I'll do what you want me to do, but you just don't tell me what you want me to do. But of course, Molly does go and complains to the girls. I still don't get it, what she's complaining for. And like, the girls are kind of saying like, you don't deserve this. Like, you know, you're better than this. And I'm surprised that they're not saying like, well, why don't you be a little bit more specific and clear with them? And so that he has to make a clear decision. You being wishy-washy is not allowing him to make a straight decision.
He wanted him to read her mind. Like she expected. and the thing is, it's like, at this point, you've already said you guys went through such a situation that you guys were not on the same page. You weren't communicating. You were taking each other for granted. There is no way to come back to here and try to say, oh, read my mind now. He wasn't reading your mind when you're in the relationship. So that, like, be clear, like be very, very clear. And I said, you know, we did not need them to come on Love Island.
No,
we needed to have them go on couples therapy, because that is what this was getting.
So Callum does explain the situation to Kaz and Toby, and I thought it was actually really funny because Kaz and Toby were sitting there when they're having this argument or like discussion, and then she storms off, and she's like, they're like, wait, what? This just happened right now? Like, what? And so he's explaining, and I think that he understands what's going on. He's like, and I felt I'm like, okay, I'm Team Callum here because like he was being very clear about what was going on in the situation, and she, even when she explains to the girls, I don't understand what she's talking about.
That's where she lost me. I tried to give her grace in their conversation because I was still kind of, well, maybe she's just really hurt. And then she went to the girls and just lied. And I was like, that's not what happened. That's not what he's doing. And you're lying about him. You're saying he's a liar, but that's not true.
But like, what did she say that he lied about?
She was saying that he was making it seem like he was was, how do you say it? Like he's telling her a story. Like he's not really telling her the truth, and that she knows that he really just wants to just go and crack on. And I was like, but that's not what he said. He said he has no problem if the things are finished and gone, but he wants you guys to have a better journey by
Yes.
supporting each other and making sure that that is the page you're both on. To me, that is being supportive
Yeah.
rather than gaslighting you, like you're trying to tell the girls, like he's gaslighting me.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of Molly right now, but it could just be like because people were saying when they first came on that like maybe it was a game, they didn't actually break up, or like they broke up for the
Yeah.
purpose of coming on the show. And like I was joking, I'm like, ooh, maybe there's gonna be a proposal at the end or whatever, them coming back together. But not looking at this, like I think that
like
Callum broke up with her.
Yes.
For her being kind of wishy-washy in their communication and like putting him through these tests without like explaining to him what he needs to do or say, or like why she's upset. And I think that he kind of had enough of it. And
can
now
you imagine if she was just like hinting at the rings, sending him rings, showing him rings, and he didn't get the rings, and she was like, why didn't he get the ring? Like I sent him rings, I showed him rings, I mentioned RING. Like, how did he not know to get me a ring for Christmas? Can you imagine? Can you imagine? That's probably what she was doing.
Ozzy here is saying if he does anything more without getting anything back from Molly, that would be harassment.
I don't think it's harassment, but I do understand they are broken up, and and this is what I was saying. I think when we first did, I said it's one thing if they had been broken up like a year ago, but it's months.
Still fresh.
It's still fresh, and they are still not able to break that wall of communication that seemed to be a big issue between the two of them. They obviously have two different communication styles. He's very laid back, and she's very just like, I don't want to say passive aggressive, but a bit passive aggressive.
I'm also saying all her actions say that she's moved on. I mean, I don't think any of her actions say that she's moved on. I think all her actions say that she's still invested in the relationship.
All her actions
but
she, that to me too.
I feel as though she wants him to know that she wants to still be in a relationship with him, and she's not being clear. Like she's giving mixed messages. She wants to try to make him jealous. She wants him to react to certain things in a certain way without telling him why or
he's
that
really
she's
feeling. Yeah,
exactly.
And I think he knew that. Like, I think if one thing he understood, he knew that that's what Molly was doing, and he was trying to placate her to the point where at the point that they had this conversation, it was like, at this point, I'm dumb. I'm being dumb because I'm wasting my time, A, and I'm also making myself unhappy, B. And so dead.
Yeah. So Demi is happy with Lewis, and they're still all touchy-feely. I'm just like, this couple's not it for me at all.
Nothing.
Whatever. So Demi's happy though about this, and she's talking about this with both Georgias. But Georgia's say that she's done now and she's single. So I hope it's true, right? Like it does seem like it's kind of that way with the next couple episodes, but I'm done with the Georgia Toby of it all. Whether it's real or not real, like I need it to be over. Whatever it was.
Whatever. That's the word. Whatever
it was. So Toby and Mitch is talking, and Toby does say that he thinks that Georgia is deeper than him, but she doesn't tell him. So that I also don't understand though, right? Because like she kind of does say to him, like, Toby, like, I feel like we're cuddling and we're being close. And so, but Toby's saying like she doesn't tell him. So I don't think this is the same situation as like the Molly being a little bit cryptic, we'll say. What do you think Toby was meaning here when he's talking to Mitch?
I have no idea, but he kind of did the same thing with Sally too.
Exactly.
He said the same thing, like, I think she likes me, but she's not. And Sally's just like, yeah, I'm not going to do that because Like, that's not what I want. Like, I want to know that you want me too, and so pursue me if you're going to pursue me. Otherwise,
and biologically, in the animal world, the male energy usually pursues the female energy. Like, that's just how the dynamic tends to work best. It just does.
But that to me tells me that either there's something holding him back, or he doesn't like the person and he's just doing it to do it.
That's what I think. Or actually the third option, that he doesn't want to take the risk. And so he wants to know for sure that the person is into him before he's going to go all in or show his full intentions. And like,
you know, now that you're saying this, I'm wondering, because again, totally different Toby than we saw season 7. He went after everybody.
But like, not seriously though, right?
Yeah, seriously.
I mean, you think that, like, I can't remember the girl's name, but like, I feel like it was like a sport to him going after people. Like, I don't know if he actually was going to be going into like a real relationship with any of these people until Chloe was showing full interest and like was coming for him and made him know that like
he didn't go back to Chloe till she ignored him. But what I'm saying is, I do think he liked Abby. I just think he liked Chloe more.
Abby's the girl with the tattoos?
Yeah, right? Yeah. But I think he liked Chloe more. I just feel like he was a little more forceful in his, like, oh, I like this person, let me check this out. Oh, I like this person, check me out. Now, if something happened between him and Chloe, in that he thought she was being very clear that she liked him, but she really didn't. I'm wondering if this is maybe a possible answer to how he's moving currently. Not that I want to put this on Chloe, because he's still immature as frick. But, you know, your experience in relationships does breed how you move forward. And maybe there's something there that he did, like, maybe she went out with a cuter guy.
I definitely think, okay, so Chloe is a Libra. Yeah. Sorry, guys, I don't like things about astrology, but there's something about the energies that I do feel to be true, especially within relationships. And so Libras they love relationships. They love connecting with people. They don't want to argue. Usually they don't want to fight. They want to keep things in balance. They usually don't. They usually leave, go to the next relationship while they're still maybe entangled in the previous one. And so I'm wondering if maybe she might have moved on a little bit, or like started like flirting with or talking to somebody before they were done. And maybe that is what happened to make him, mad at her at the end of the relationship.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. I feel like there's something that we might be missing why he's moving the way he's moving. Because I mean, today we even saw a different Toby. So I think having that, there's people interested in me and they're clearly stating it. Whereas I feel like George is a little more like laid back and just like I want you to pursue me, right? I want you to be clear that you're pursuing me, and I shouldn't have to scream it from the hilltops that I'm into you.
Yeah, I think maybe his passive approach to relationships nowadays, anyways, I think it's not working with the women that he's having any sort of pursuits towards, or relationships or situationships with. So Georgia does tell them that she's a bit nervous with Georgia Harrison, because he has hurt her before. Do you know anything about I didn't actually fully understand what happened in this brief story that
my God. So I thought it was just me. I said it on my show too. Like, I don't quite understand this club table.
They were in Ibiza and she had a table and he had a table. No, he came in and
bumped her off the tables. Her words, her exact words were, "You bumped me off a club table." And I don't know what that means.
So does that mean that instead of it being George's table, now it was Josh's table, and that she wasn't able to be at the table anymore because he had his entourage or whatever there?
Or I couldn't understand if it was about money. Like, was she supposed to make money off the table, and then he somehow finagled it so he made money off of the table? Because if it was about money, and I said, listen, I don't play about my money. So
Well, I feel bumped off a table means that he offered to pay more for the table than she was paying for it.
yeah, I can't figure out what that, because my whole thing is, if y'all were together, because the way they were making it seem like they were like rolling with each other, what the fuck does it matter?
I don't know. Bumped off the table means that like she was like kicked out of the VIP and he was allowed to stay. You know what I mean? Like that's what.
And then she says that he left her at the club door, and I was like, so I'm confused. So you were like outside, and then he like rolled past you after coming out the VIP and went out the door. Like, what is going on? I'm so confused.
I don't know. If somebody has any more clarity, if she's spoken about this on any other podcast or any other publication, please let us know and help us understand this story, and also the timeline between Arabella and Toby. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Molly thinks that Callum is going to beeline for Georgia Steele for the fact that they're kind of similar, she feels. And then she goes crying in the dressing room and all the girls come around her again. I'm done with Molly.
Yeah, I told you, like, that after that whole thing with the girls, I was like, oh no, you're not serious. I'm sorry. I'm like, I need you to, like, at this point, it's over. It's over for me.
So another person that I'm over is, I mean, I know you're not a fan of Arabella, so we're gonna have to talk about her a lot, and you're gonna have to. Well, you're gonna give kind of like a little bit of a biased perspective.
Yes,
but we're always biased here.
But I will be clear when I'm being very biased.
But okay, so Arabella is surprised by Mitch, who is bothering me. And at the end of the last episode, I was like, I'm so annoyed with Mitch.
Mm-hmm.
He says eye contact is a big thing, and talk about, oh, his eyes are blue, and and she has one blue eye and one green eye, and so they kind of were connecting. What do you think about them two as a potential duo?
So, I mean, I think it's not a secret. Mitch is a flirt. We always get this. We always hear this. Oh, you shocked me. You surprised me when these girls talk to Mitch, and I think that's always his opening. But if you think Toby's immature, woo, child, Mitch is just immature.
He's on in one today. Mitch being annoying, pretending to be shocked.
And so not only is he immature, but Arabella, you're talking about you want to get married. You're 32. He's 28.
I think 28 or 29
or something like that. Which, okay, fine. Like within a 5-year age difference. Again, I can't judge. I dated somebody who was 5 years younger than me, but I'm just saying, also maturity. Like, dated that person because they were super mature.
Yeah,
100%. So I just don't see that with Mitch. I understand that he has charisma for you guys, but this is not, no, like he would be an automatic no for me. I don't care how cute, sweet, whatever, blue eyes, blonde hair, I don't care. He would be a no.
His chat, his flirt, his vibe is so not
Whereas like Chris is like trolling and funniness and
his goofiness. He could goofiness me into bed for sure.
There's some substance behind all of that.
Absolutely. Well, poor Liberty, doesn't feel energy from Mitch, but she's not going to be a placeholder, and she knows her worth.
No, you don't.
No, she doesn't. I feel bad. I really like Liberty.
I love Liberty.
Really want her to find love.
Same.
And I do think that what she thinks she could have with Mitch, that would be a good option for her. But it's actually not who Mitch really is and what he's giving her. And so I know she's hopeful for the potential because I can see the potential that she wants from him, but he's not giving. It's not aligning.
Not even that he's not giving it. I don't think he's capable of giving it to her.
Fair.
It's one thing if it's not currently giving it, because again, open, maybe there's a, it'll evolve. I do not think he's capable of giving Liberty what she deserves in any situation. That's A. B, I said this during Love Island Games when she went after Callum, and I'm kind of saying it again. I'm wondering if Liberty just has a bad picker. Some people, and I'm not exclusively knocking it to women, some people just have bad pickers. And sometimes you can evolve out of it through maturity and age and relationship evolving, right? Like, but Liberty said she came out of the villa the last time and never dated, never went into another relationship. I think she needs to date more. And then, because I will say that even for me, I came out of my marriage. The only person I ever had been with was my ex-husband. I knew no better. So I used to talk to guys and like, why are they acting like this? Why are they? I know no better because I never dated. And I think that is the issue here. You're trying to jump into a relationship, but girl,
you don't know how to date.
No.
Yep. Absolutely. Rachel here is saying that Liberty needs to look for love outside of reality TV men. Absolutely.
I think that's where her potential lies.
Hi, Yvette. Yvette says, I love listening to you both. I wish I could watch Love Island UK. I watched Love Island Games and fell in love with Love Island. Now I'm hooked. Yes, if you go on Daily Motion, you can find a link like 2 hours, an hour maybe even after the episode airs. So you can get caught up real quick. So yeah, Daily Motion, it's an app or a website. It's kind of like YouTube, and you can catch up on the season. So no problem. As it says, Mika, only thing is she didn't pick Mitch. Only Mitch showed interest.
No, she did pick Mitch. This is after the recoupling. She picked Mitch. She got to pick him first. Mm-hmm. She just didn't know until tonight.
That this episode. Interested in her.
He wasn't interested in her. She was not given the clear information about that because a certain person kept that to herself. But we're gonna get there.
We're getting there. Oh my God, we have so much to get to. Okay, Liberty decides to herself beeline over to Chris, who she did say that she had interest in at the beginning of the season. Mm-hmm. And so she wants to get to know Chris, and she tells Chris this. And so Chris does say, like, yeah, we have some good chats, and like I think he says that he's open to having more chats. I also think though that he doesn't think that that's a real possibility, but like I don't think that he's going to shoot down having conversations with her.
The only other person I saw Chris have any chemistry with is Kaz, and I don't know what he was thinking going after Molly. He should have went after Kaz. But
I also think Georgia Harrison.
Yes, we did see a brief blip until he.
Yeah, I don't know what happened, how that completely was deaded.
She was into Anton. I think that's what it is. She was into Anton, and then he was just like.
I don't think she's into Anton though.
She was into it.
I don't know. Okay, we'll get to her soon. I think it's next episode. Okay, Arabella does say that she slept with Toby, but his age is a thing, and so I don't know if she's willing to get into like a relationship. Why is your face like that?
Because it's like, okay, so you slept with Toby, and then you had conversations with Toby, and you texted Toby, and you still want to be with Toby, Arabella? Like, now I'm side-eyeing you, dear. Now I'm side-eyeing you.
So Chris asks Arabella to accompany him to the terrace for some daytime riz. Like I love the term riz, but like how did it become so popular all of a sudden?
I have no idea.
I heard it once a while ago, and I was like okay, that's like a cool word. And then I learned what it meant, and then like now I hear it all.
Is it in music that I don't know about? Like maybe it's music. Maybe there's songs where they in it like prominently that I don't listen to, so that's possible.
Right, but like, so yeah, charisma means riz. I thought like, oh my God, I'm so cool. I'm so hip with like new school lingo, but now it's everywhere, and I'm like, that's old news. Like I knew about that a while ago. But anyway, some daytime riz with Chris and Arabella on the terrace. Mm-hmm. So she likes his banter, and I think they do have a bit of a vibe. I know you're anti Arabella, but
that's what I said. I said you would have to you're a little less You're a little more neutral, so you would have to tell me if you saw.
If I watch episode 5 again, though, because like I watched it in real time, you watched it more recently,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So I'm not as heated, we'll say,
Yes.
with like my memory of the situation.
Literally, when they put her, they put that she was coming on the show. I said, "Why? We don't need her." I thought this was All Stars.
Okay. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. Josh and Molly are chatting, and he was saying that he stormed off. That she stormed off when she was talking to Callum. And so Josh is seeming to put some energy here into Molly. I know Molly is pretty, but like, what is it that she has? Is there something more that she has I'm just not seeing, or is it really just because she's so pretty?
Listen, Toby said it tonight, like the face. But I will say some men are really into that disaffected, I could care less about anything happening kind of thing.
What do you mean?
You know what I mean? Like just ignore men. Like some men like to be ignored.
Yeah, no, I mean, ignoring, yeah, that helps with the chase for sure.
Yeah. So I think the
her
fact
disinterest is making him interested.
Yeah.
Okay. I see that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, like she's interested in Callum, and they just think that like, oh, like she's just like a challenge. Like I can get her.
That's what I'm saying. Like
okay.
the I am not into anything or anyone right now because I just got out of this relationship that I could care less about. And that's what I think they like.
So Josh is flirting with Molly, and he asks her what her ideal situation would be, and she says nothing. And I'm like, that's the moment. If she wants to be with Callum, be like, listen, like my head is scrambled. I think I still want to be with Callum. I need to have a conversation with him, and like I need to tell him this just to know if there's any sort of possibility for us to get back together. Until I have clarity in the situation, I can't pursue anything with you, Josh. That should be what she should have said here, instead of like, oh, I can't say anything. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. I mean, also to be fair, I don't think she really liked Josh. She said it. I don't think she meant it.
Okay. So
I think she only likes Toby because she knows it ain't going no freaking there.
Yeah, Toby is like, it's like a safe bet. Like, I'm not going to get serious here.
No.
So they're all getting ready for the night. Josh wants to kiss Molly. I'm like, she's not giving you anything, but okay, go and try to kiss Molly to see if there's a connection. I thought it was slightly rude for the fact that Georgia did just pick you. Like they had been kind of canoodling and like, you know, getting close again. They've had history in the past.
Yes.
To me, would state that they've slept together or at least been intimate in some sort of way in the past. And so the fact that he's immediately already wanting to go and see if there's a connection with him and Molly, like, oh, because they're open. I'm like, you might say that you're open, but you have history together. And so like, it's a little bit more close than all these other I'm opens, in my opinion.
And then also to say, oh, he like, because she points out like, but you didn't even choose me for a date. And you could have, like, he didn't have to choose Hannah. He could have, like, Hannah and him know that they were going to be friends. So it's like, why not choose?
But it could have been because she was in whatever with Callum. And so like, maybe he thought that was like a closed situation. Maybe.
Again, the chase. I just think it's the chase.
Fair. So the toast is a night filled with flirtation and fun, says Arabella. Georgia is with Callum and Anton. Anton then leaves and he needs something back. Who's that?
I don't know. I'm going to tell you, like, after that whole thing happened with Molly and Callum, all the conversations that started happening after this, I was like, first of all, they're the same conversations over again. And I was going like this. I was like, I can't do this. Like, these are boring, circular. There's no chemistry. I can't do this. Stop these conversations. And then the Demi, Mitch, Liberty.
That's coming.
Yeah. But so some of them I zoned out. Like,
so Callum is saying that he would have picked Georgia if Molly hadn't showed up. And so
which we knew. Like, I think it was very clear that that's who he was making a beeline for when he showed up. And then they threw Molly in the villa.
to ruin the season. Because, like, if that had happened, like, the whole Toby Georgia situation wouldn't have been a thing. Like, it would have, or it would have been
It would have
cleared up.
wrapped up quicker.
Yeah, it would have cleared up
Wrapped
instead of
quicker.
it just being all this weird energy
Mhm.
from
Mhm.
both of them.
And then Molly coming in would have actually been a Toby Molly situation. Like maybe potentially her, like either Callum not switching to her or Callum switching to her would have either had gotten Toby back on the right page either way.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Lewis and Demi are talking, and he's like, "Oh, you haven't like gonna come up to me or talk to me," and she says she doesn't want to suffocate him, and so I think she's really, really happy with being the it girl, but I do not feel like Lewis is into her at all, at all.
I think Demi is fake, and I thought
people
that
are giving her a lot of love and support in general. I don't know if I haven't seen actually before this whole situation kind of has been playing out, but up until like all of last week, people were just like, "Oh, we love Demi. Demi's super like support is super nice. Like she's gorgeous. Blah blah blah." I haven't been feeling Demi in my opinion. I feel like she's a little bit, like you said, fake.
So
I don't trust her.
Right. So again, season 5. I watched her 6. Sorry. So again, season 6, I watched her and I always felt like something was off. Now, I just thought she was shallow. And I feel like, and I think I mentioned this before, I never really truly was believable about the relationship that she came off the show in. So when they broke up, I was not surprised, right? Because I really did not think that they would last. And here I'm seeing what I saw bits of, I feel like, in her original season. Except I don't even think she's shallow. I think she's just phony now.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know who the true Demi is. I don't know what she likes. I don't know what her interests are. Like, I don't know anything really about her. I know that she just giggles.
The only thing I know about Demi is that she had skin cancer. And I do think her going through that, that parasocial relationship tied her to the public in a certain way. And I'm not saying that she used that at all, actually. Okay. I'm not saying that. But
so they became endeared to her for what she went through, which is challenging for anybody to
right.
experience.
And I'm happy that she's healthy, and I'm happy that that she's doing well. And I think that that just makes people want her to find love. But I also think that she's a phony.
Yeah, I mean, I can agree with that it doesn't seem like we know the true Demi. It just seems like everything is just a kind of a big mask, unfortunately. And so it's hard for me to connect with her relationships because I just don't feel like they're there. It's kind of similar to Mitch, in my opinion. I do not see
the real Mitch.
Like, I'm like, what would we be doing if we were dating? Like, I feel like everything's always a show. I don't see the substance. And so I have
which is why I said, like, with Arabella having these conversations, like, girl, like, I'm sorry, there's nothing that would make me tie myself to Mitchell because he's not real. You're not getting Mitchell. You're getting Mitch. And Mitch is not a real person.
It's a persona on Love Island. Absolutely.
Correct.
So Arabella, your favorite, and Toby have a conversation, and he's like, "Oh, deep down, were you hoping to see me?" Oh, no, sorry. Arabella said that to Toby, and he doesn't know. And she asked him, like, "What would you kiss me back if I kissed you?" And he's like, "Find out." So they are still kind of flirty banter. They talk
back and forth, yeah.
He gives her more energy than he gives Georgia, for sure.
Absolutely. Sure. I think he was very interested in Arabella, but again, I just don't think that. I think ultimately Arabella knew that would be just not going anywhere. He's too young. For her,
especially.
For her. Yeah.
Molly does tell Demi that it might be weird with Callum to crack on with Georgia because he feels like now he's going to have moved on too soon. And I'm just like, I wish Molly wasn't in this villa.
It was like,
or coming as a bombshell later, like you said.
It was just like a snowball of, Molly, you're projecting onto that man. You were projecting onto him that he didn't really want you. You're projecting onto him how he's going to treat Georgia. You're projecting onto him his experience. And all he wanted to do was get straight with you how your experiences were going to go. And you wouldn't allow him to do that. And now you're crying in the club because he's doing what you pushed him.
Yeah, you told him just like, go do crack on, do what you want. I want you to go out and experience everything and like see how you're feeling. When really she's like, I want you to know that you want to be with me, and I want you to tell me that. Yeah. Even though, and I want you to come to me and tell me that. I'm not even going to ask you directly.
But I don't even think if he had said it, she would believe it. That's why he's dead.
Yeah, she's annoying.
That's why he's dead, because I don't think even if he had said it, she would believe it. He would have had to show it, but that means sitting there watching her crack on, kiss, do this, do that. And at some point, he has ego too. We've said it. Like every man has even just a little bit of ego, right? And at some point, you're affecting the ego. And I think that's just too high of an expectation.
Definitely. Georgia, Steele, and Hannah do talk a little bit about, I believe it's about Toby hadn't spoken to her all day. But Hannah does think that her and Callum could have a bit of something. So, and I actually agree. But I could just be that Georgia and Toby just really weren't compatible, or like they just didn't have anything. But I do feel like Georgia and Callum, there's more there. Definitely more there. Can we get to Casa More already? There, as far as I know, there's going to be no Casa More.
There won't be any.
But they did tease that there's going to be a twist that's going to be different to replace it. Do you know what that twist is, or do you have any idea?
No, they haven't said. Listen, I'm going to tell you the truth. I get PR from ITV on the daily. So if you're following me, you see that I share the daily summary of what they say the episode is supposed to have. Used to be with a regular season, they also used to send me, oh, this bombshell is coming in today. You can't talk about it until 6:05 p.m. or whatever. And I would have to wait, or I'd be teasing it. Anytime a bombshell has been coming in, they have not told us shit. They've not said nothing to us.
Interesting. Hi, Janine. We're still in episode 7. I think it was longer though. It was longer though, right? It was like an hour and a half.
It was a while.
Okay.
That's why I'm telling you. I was sitting there like, wait. It's still on. Okay, let's go.
I literally just watched all 3 back to back right now. So I don't know when was what, but I think it was an hour and a half this episode. Where am I? Sorry. So yeah, so Georgia is back on the market. You know, she's done with Toby. Like Toby's not talking to her. Callum likes her, and she likes the energy that Callum is bringing to her. And I have to say, Callum has energy in his ITMs.
Yes.
Like he when he talks about Molly, he's just like he's just like you know. But when he talks about Georgia, he's like,
yeah, it's the uncertainty, and then with Georgia, it's the potential. Like, and so. I like Callum. I've always liked Callum. I
like him more when he has energy.
Right. That's what I was gonna say. That's the difference.
I like him a lot more. Wait. So what had happened here? Sorry, Molly. Okay. So yeah, Molly is talking to Toby, and Molly is actually clocking Toby a little bit, being like, "You're not being clear with Georgia." And Molly says you're giving madness vibes. And Toby kind of gets defensive about this, and he thinks that the girls are weird.
Because in his head, I'm not doing what I did my first season. I'm not doing any of that stuff. So how am I moving mad? Because she said you're moving mad, and he's like, and Mitch is right there. He's moving mad. I'm not moving.
So Arabella is talking to Mitch about aphrodisiacs and how she's really getting Mitch nervous and stuff like that. I'm like, I don't like seeing them flirt because like I'm not a fan of Mitch really, and I just don't believe that this is a potential relationship. So I don't need to see it.
No,
personally,
it was not it.
Cut to Liberty saying that she doesn't want to be led on. I'm like, just stay away from Mitch.
Over. It's over. You've been led on. Been.
So as the saying was, no one else was interested in Liberty but Mitch. But when Tom comes in, neither will he. He is the wait. In reality, Liberty picked Mitch to stay on the show. Oh, is Tom coming in? Is that what's happening?
Yeah. That was what the end of the episode.
Which Tom is it again?
Recent Tom. 9, 10. I
can see his face.
Winter
Like,
Tom.
What's his?
Zara's Tom. Sammy's Tom.
Oh my God, Zara and
Blockhead.
Sammy. I don't know who this person
I can't
is.
stand that man.
Tom. Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember who Sammy is. Sammy.
Oh, like the producers really wanted them to win the show, in my opinion. But yeah. So
man, I'm blocked. I do Terrace Tom.
I mean, I can show it to you.
Tom. I see his face, but I don't remember his storyline.
Yeah, so remember he was with Zara, and he really just unemployed.
Got so noticed when I saw Tom on my screen. Tom, he's a footballer, unemployed. Rip off shirt, Tom. Guys, I don't remember that.
Oh my God.
He took his pink jacket and off his pink jacket and threw it. Oh my God. I blocked this man's. Oh, okay. I remember his face, but like I don't remember any of these things.
Yeah.
Oh man. I don't remember who Zara is though.
Zara, she like basically him and Olivia got her kicked off of the show, and then she started dating Jordan, and then they broke up after.
Oh, that season. Okay, I only saw him at the beginning. Okay, that's why I don't remember. Okay. Okay, yes, I couldn't get through that because I remember him because he was there in the beginning. Zara's the blogger. No, that's the girl starts with an L.
Yeah, she's she I think you're taking up 10 now. But
no, 10 yells is the what they call it? Bunda with like the big butt.
Yes.
What they call it?
Yeah.
Bunda.
You know she's married, right? She got married this week. Last week.
Nope.
Yep.
Oh, okay. I'm kind of remembering the season a little bit more. Zara's the blonde girl that was with Ron, or is that someone else?
That's Lana. That's Lana.
Lana's with Ron. They just broke up though, right? Or they just moved in. And so something happened with them recently.
They broke. I think the only people together from that season is
the Australian and Will. Is it?
Oh no, they're still together. I was gonna say Shaq and Tanya.
Yes, Shaq and Tanya. Get it. Clearly, he's irrelevant to Tom because
I don't know if you ever did you finish this season, right? Because neither of us covered this season, but I struggled through it. She did.
I was trying to cover it and then I didn't, and so like when you try to cover something, then you don't watch it, and so then like I didn't end up finish covering it, and so I just didn't finish watching it.
No. Yeah, I didn't cover it, but I watched the entire thing, and I loved Shaq and Tanya, and I thought that they would be good together, and everybody hated them, but they're still together, still doing really well. And Tanya got married to she came out and then started dating an ex-boyfriend, and they got married.
Okay. I mean, I thought Tanya was gorgeous, and
she was.
Like,
yeah.
I liked her.
I do think a lot of people was hoping to see Zara on this. Considering the cast that they gave us, like they could have threw Zara in.
Please. Well, aren't we getting Olivia though? Sorry, guys.
I hope not.
Sorry, guys. I mean, I haven't gotten to the hate of her part yet, or like dislike. So to me,
please no. Please.
She was a menace. Was she?
She was a listen, Tanya. Listen, I can't even hit. This is the reason why I like Tanya. Is she apologized where she needed to apologize? Was it necessarily the way people want her to apologize? No, but she was also very firm in what she really wanted. I do feel like the producers pushed
Get
her
her dirty a little bit.
choose that guy that I will not speak
David?
his name. No, I think wasn't it Martin?
Oh, I didn't get that far. I just remember, didn't she go on a date with David, or is that wrong season?
Oh, maybe.
Oh no, that was no. David was with Whitney. Never mind.
No. Yes, it was Martin. It was Martin because that was Dammy's friend because Dammy was the season before. So yeah, no.
I think
For real, please. I
think
need
so.
them not to send. Please.
I think it's happening.
I need them not to send Olivia into this villa. I will knock over chairs. I can't. No, please don't do it. Don't do it.
So back to this episode. Kaz thinks that Liberty should keep her options open a little bit more instead of putting all of her eggs into Mitch's basket, which I agree with because Mitch isn't actually giving her the energy that she is saying that she deserves. And she keeps on settling for less than she says that she deserves. And that's why people are giving her less than she deserves. You know what I mean?
I agree.
So Liberty and Lich are talking, and then he says to her face, I'm still open. And she's like, well, I'm going to match your energy then. Like, you know, so she ends up like walking off, and he's like, you're walking off? She's like, yeah. And I'm like, okay, good, Liberty. Like, walk off.
Good start.
Keep the energy, please.
Yes, please.
So Debbie tells Liberty that Mitch also said that you're my number one. And Mitch is saying that to Liberty that like, well, you're like right now you're my number one. And so she's upset because like he's saying the same thing to her and other people. And he always does that. He has the same line.
He's always done that. He's always done because he is not serious. Because what serious man continues to rank choice women?
Mitch. So Liberty is pissed hearing this, obviously, and storms over to Mitch and asks him, did you tell Demi that you're my number one before the recoupling? And he's like, fucking hell. And it's like I also find it annoying when these guys get mad when they get caught with their stupidness. Like you did, and she caught you. And then so Liberty goes.
She said, so you did. Okay.
Then she goes up to the dressing room to cry, which is fine. Like I can understand how that's hurtful.
Yeah. I think she really likes Mitch. I don't think, again, Liberty is the most genuine person probably in there. Genuine in that she will wear her feelings on her sleeve. I also think Kaz is very genuine. I just think Kaz knows better than to just leave her feelings out on the dance floor, right? So I think that's the only difference. They're both very genuine in how they feel. But one will show it, and the other, who's a Scorpio, is not gonna show you everything.
Liberty's a Virgo, no?
No, I'm talking about Kaz. Kaz is a Scorpio.
Isn't she a Taurus? Oh, it's Islanders a Taurus.
Islanders a Taurus.
Okay. Yeah. So that was the end of the episode, is like seeing them, poor Liberty, going to cry over the situation. So last night's episode, we see Kaz pulling Mitch because Kaz is pissed about this situation because this actually also affects her because of how the recoupling and right before the recoupling, how everything went down.
Right.
And
I said that I don't think she realized what he was saying because people are like, oh, Kaz was being messy. Kaz knew Louis. I always mess up his name. So glad he's gone. She knew he didn't like her and that he liked Demi and she picked him up. I said, no, I don't. I genuinely don't think that she knew what was going on or what Mitch was trying to do or say. I think she thought he was just like, again, they were in a friendship couple. I think she thought that he was encouraging her to go for what she wanted, which was not wrong, right? I said that I didn't feel like Mitch in that respect was wrong. He wasn't wrong.
So do you think now, though, that Mitch was wanting Kaz to choose Louis so that he would have...
I always thought that.
Right.
But what I'm saying is I don't think she understood it that way.
Right. You thought that she was just like, because they were in a couple at that point, and he was like supporting her, like going after, her only prospect in the villa.
Correct.
And so she's just like, well, who do you want? And she's like, he's caught his tongue for sure. And then Liberty comes over. I was like, I wish Liberty hadn't come over yet, because I wanted her to get more information out of Mitch. Because then Liberty comes over and she's like, I'm not a placeholder. And I'm like, yeah, I agree that you're not a placeholder, but you have been a placeholder, and you allow yourself to be a placeholder with like just the way that you kind of just let them come back in. You don't stand on your I'm not talking to you, or like leave me alone, or like I'm gonna storm off. Like you come back. Yeah. And then to say like, I'm not a placeholder.
Right.
Which
the words were wording. The feelings weren't feeling.
No. Okay, so as a thing that Kaz knew Lewis kissed Demi, Mitch has an agenda though.
Aren't you one of the people who said kissing doesn't mean anything? So again, I agreed with you there, and I'm gonna roll with that. Just because he kissed her, he was still giving Kaz energy and making it seem as if there was a potential. We
don't actually know though if they kissed before the recoupling.
She didn't know for sure. She suspected.
Yeah.
Right. But even if she knew, right, she got there first.
And she who knows if who pursued the kiss at that point, right?
Right.
Mitch has earned his nickname. He's annoying.
Yeah.
Hold on. So Rachel says, I don't know how anyone could watch season 10 then take Mitch seriously. Liberty needs to treat this like a showmance and detach.
I don't think she's watched the show though, guys. I'm gonna tell you the truth. I don't think she's watched the show. I know that Kaz has watched the show, definitely, but I don't know if Liberty has actually watched. Maybe she did. Actually, they might have
done
this about it.
She could have, because Love Island Games happened after it ended. So maybe.
But I think she just likes him, right? Like, yeah. And that's
and he was the only person really giving her any energy as well, right?
True.
So, and like he's I think the fact that he's a little bit not serious as well, I think that she feels that he is in her league, relationship wise, but like, he's not somebody that's been in like tons of relationships and like could be like manipulative in that kind of way, and like just having this understanding of being with women, but he still is able to kind of manipulate her, even though
I'm telling you that charismatic, funny guy, you got to knock that shit down.
Rachel says Lib did watch. They were on After Sun.
Yeah, that's what I was remembering. I think they did watch at least a little bit of it, but yeah.
So then Demi comes over to explain herself, and I was like, Demi, just stay out of it. Like, we already know that you didn't say anything when you had the chance, and
I was just too wrapped up in. It's been 3 days. It's been 3 days. So 2 days ago, you said you didn't have time when you had at least
5 minutes.
5 minutes. At least. But now it's been 3 days, and you could have been told Liv. This is the problem. See, a lot of people are like, oh, they just met. No, Kaz, Liberty, and Demi were friends outside the villa. There are pictures.
Yeah, she said that they're friends. Like she said it many times. Like, like it's my friends, and because she goes and she apologizes to Liberty and Kaz after again, and they're just like, I just wish you told me sooner.
She was throwing rocks and hiding her hands and hedging her bets, and that is the problem. Because, like you said, I think she wanted to be the it girl, and that wasn't happening here. And all it showed to me is she's not a girl's girl.
Yeah.
Because my whole thing is neither Kaz nor Liberty would have took it offensive if she had been like, yo, so me and Lewis kissed. Oh my God. Like, I'm really
even if she knows that like Kaz and him are
Kaz would not have taken offense to
she'd be like, I'm really sorry. Like I know that we're both talking to Lewis right now. We did just have a moment on the terrace. Like I just want you to know that, so I'm not like holding anything from you. And like if you want to ask him about it, like I just wanted to be open and honest with you about that. It did happen.
Right.
It happened.
Exactly. Then with Liberty, if she had been like at the time instead of in the aftermath, that fucking Mitch. Do you know what he did? He told me I was number one. Did he tell you were his number one? And she would have been like, yeah, he's playing us, girl. No, we ain't gonna let that happen. We gonna nip this in the bud.
Well, and also though, like even with Lewis, right? Like you would be like if it was if me and my girlfriend were talking to the same guy, right? Like I would want to keep them up to date with like how things were going because
I mean, in this type of situation, personally, if it was on the outside, I wouldn't do it. But like in this type of situation, but I also think I'm not even sure about her villa, Demi's villa, but we know that in Kaz and Liberty's villa, this shit wouldn't fly. The girls would have all been on one page. Because any girl who did not come in that villa and stayed on code.
So then Lib is crying and Mitch wants to chat and she doesn't want to talk to him. And so he's like upset that she doesn't want to talk to him. And it's like, get out of here, Mitch. Like you're annoying. And she's upset. She doesn't have to talk to you.
Not
like,
at all.
Get out of here. So Georgia Steele and Molly are having a chat. And so Georgia wants to have like the okay from Molly because they're developing a friendship of some sort. But Molly just wants her to be happy, but she doesn't actually.
She doesn't, guys. It's not true.
Well, because they get on, right? They get on so well that
they're not friends. Like Molly and Demi were friends. It is clear she did not want nothing to do with Georgia. This, like, she's like, she won't even talk to me. Like, she won't look me in the eye. And I'm like, dude, girl, you just, like, there's a point where you just have to eat it and keep it moving.
Well, I need different Georgia Steele energy. I agree. Like, I need more. She's an Aries, right? I need more Aries. I need more.
I haven't seen it yet. Listen, you keep telling me. Other people have told me. I haven't seen it yet. 2 villas so far. I haven't seen it once.
Her season different.
Except for when she went after Sally for no reason. That's the only time.
I actually was very upset with her when she did that.
Very upset. I'm still upset.
It was really gross, especially with now the way that she's interacting with Toby. Like she has, this is the dynamic she has with Toby, that she was vilifying the way that Sally was reacting to her whatever thing with Toby. It's just very frustrating.
And then Sally moved on too quickly with EL and used EL, and
weren't they still open?
Right. Right.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my God, exactly. So Molly and Josh are talking and he wants to know what's going on with her and Callum, and she doesn't know, of course. But she is interested in him. I don't think she's interested in him.
She's not interested in Josh, but she does know. You pushed Callum away. He's going about his business.
Mary says that she was a childish and a crybaby on her original season. Maybe. What happened with her? She's loyal and she was with that guy. But then she was okay on X on the Beach, Peak of Love. She dated Sam Bird. Oh, wait, you don't watch the challenge. Kayla from the challenge is married to Sam Bird now. That was Georgia's ex-boyfriend, who she met on, I forget where she met him. I think Sam Bird was on Love Island as well at one point.
Okay, anyways. So I know none of these people.
Oh, good. Did you know the other Callum, like the light-skinned Callum from the currently on this challenge? Or like was on the season?
No.
Kidoki. So Georgia Harrison doesn't know how she feels about Josh pulling Molly, so she started to get a little bit jealous here. Because they have history, not because they're open. It's because they have history.
It's because they have history, and I understand. I definitely understand. And I feel like she did the right thing here, personally, because I feel like while he did pick her, which was right, the reasoning they did not work out the last time was disrespect. It felt like, because otherwise, I don't know what this club table thing was about. So it felt like it was a disrespect.
He ghosted her in person.
Right.
I think so.
So if you are going to bring that disrespectful energy to this situation, let us not continue with that.
So Molly thinks that Josh needs to talk to Georgia Harrison, which he does. It's true. for the fact that, like, I don't think that he's made it clear to Georgia that he's not interested in her.
And again, girl's girl Molly went and sat her ass next to Georgia and said, "So just so you know." And I will listen. I don't know if anybody was upset at her for doing that.
I wasn't.
I was absolutely on her side for doing that. It was absolutely necessary. And that is what Demi should have done. And I can appreciate that at least Molly did that. Because she didn't have to. But
yeah, I do think that Molly did it as a little dig. Right? Because like Georgia Harrison says, and Molly have the conversation, and she tells her that Josh wants to get to know her, and so Georgia Harrison gives her the green light. Like Georgia Harrison usually is pretty like, okay, if that's the way it's going to be, that's the way it's going to be. Fine, that's what you want to. She still could be hurt about it, but she's not going to put up that big of a fight, whatever. But I think Molly, there's a little bit of it wanted to be like, he's choosing me over you. Just to boost her ego a little bit. But
I think listen, hurt people.
Yeah.
And I don't think she's in a good place personally.
That's true. So then I think that what's his name? Josh comes over and she's like, okay, let's all have a little chat here. And so they start talking about like the fact it's totally fine that he goes and pursues Molly at this point. And then Molly leaves. And so she says that she's like, there's no more kissing, there's no more cuddling, there's no more that. And I'm happy that she said that. Be like, so you want you're open means that we're close in that way. And you can pursue Molly however you feel.
Absolutely.
And I'm happy that she made that clear. I think she says, I wish you the best of luck.
Yeah.
One of them said it.
I think she did say, like, I don't know if it was here or later. She says, I don't think we're compatible. And I mean, it doesn't sound like it based on their conversation.
So far, yeah.
She's saying she wants to go into a serious relationship and get married and all this stuff. And it sounds like Josh still wants to be around, which is fine.
This is not good for Georgia. So Josh tells Callum that he wants to talk to Molly, and Callum didn't really put up a fight about it. I think he wants someone to take Molly off of his hands.
But that's what it seemed like the first time when the Chris situation happened. He was like, okay, it's that where we are. But the thing is, after that, she was not clear to either Chris or him, and that's where the messiness came in.
So Georgia Harrison tells Arabella the situation that was having with Josh. And she's kind of feeling upset because she feels like she has some good lines. She's like, yeah, I feel like I was dropped like a sack of stinking shit. Like she has some good lines, or like, you know, some descriptive wording. Like she's good.
Very descriptive.
But now she doesn't really know where to put her energy, which I understand because I know she doesn't want Anton. I'm sorry, Anton. I know that you have like a good heart, but he's also somebody that I don't understand the vibe that he gives off, right? I don't understand the relationship that he's looking for. Like, I don't get it. It's not like, you know, when you can see, like, when I was talking with Miss Mansa about, not this specifically, but about, what's his name? Tyreek? That's with Ella.
Okay.
Like, he gives, you know, what kind of relationship that he wants. You know what I mean? Like, you could tell, like, he wants like a baddie that he could like show up on his arm, but like they could just like chill, but like, you know, like, I don't know, you could tell the kind of relationship that they're gonna have and like the banter they're gonna, like, I don't know. I just understand what kind of relationship he's looking for. When I see Anton, I just don't get the type of girl,
right? Because that's what I said. I said, on paper, I feel like from what I've known of Anton, Hannah should be the person, right? But that's not what's giving here. And then also, I'm not sure now what he wants. That being said, I think Jake did say that he feels like Anton is the most genuine.
I think he's genuine.
of
But
of the men that's in there, because he said other than like the people he knows, right? Because Jake knows season 7, right? He said, I think other than the people, I would say Anton, he's really in there to find something. I just, like you're saying, I just don't feel like Georgia H is like on paper what he's ever kind of seemed to lean towards or said he wanted, or I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something. Maybe I missed that conversation.
so at bedtime, Georgia Harrison, she's gonna sleep outside. Which I'm like, I think that's a good decision for her to make, because like I think if she's in the bed
She
with
just fall into
Josh,
it.
she'll fall into maybe cuddling a little bit or making out a little bit, and like she wants him to not have his cake and eat it too, right? Like he wants to know, like, okay, we're done here.
Yeah, I just didn't understand why she said I need to be away from all these men. I was just like, wait, why is all the men just right?
I mean, I think all the men, because she's not attracted to any of them, right? And like they're all supporting each other's actions, and like I don't know, she's probably just like annoyed with everybody. Yeah, I'm kind of annoyed with most people in there.
That's fair. That's fair. That's fair. I just was I thought it was just so like out of they were all just strays from her. I was like, damn.
So okay, I was annoyed here. As is probably going to be supportive of Toby here. But Toby's being really sarcastic with Josh, being like, "Oh, the girl says like, oh, you can talk to somebody, but then they're going to be upset about it, and oh, they're going to do this, but then they don't have the same energy for this way." And I'm like, he was winding me up, because like I don't agree with him at all when he thinks that there's some sort of double standard going. I feel that they all have different ideas and understandings of what it means to be open, and the girls actually get hurt if you haven't stated what the relationship is, and they're still making out and doing things that are kind of looking like it's moving towards something more serious, and then you don't care about them and you want to go on with somebody else. And they're saying that they kind of, with his sarcastic little rant here, he's like basically saying like they shouldn't be feeling that way because we're open, so they shouldn't be having any sort of feeling about like what I'm doing. And like I was annoyed by it.
Yeah, that whole conversation is probably for the best. She left the room because they were all on one. But I don't know if 1 + 1 = 2 or whatever. Yeah. So.
Oh my God, sorry. I'm just looking what Danita's saying here. Georgia Harrison is trying to be part of Anton's breast spray brand deal.
Gotta be.
That's what we were saying, that like him coming on with that breast spray, like he wants to get a brand deal for breast spray.
It's gotta be.
If Molly gets no smoke, we've given Molly a lot of smoke here.
What?
I think that we're not supportive of Molly at all.
I like Molly, and I tried to give her grace like the first 3 episodes. I can't. I'm sorry. I can't give her grace. Like I personally would not like it even if we broke up. Be clear. Like be clear about what you want, because I'm going to be clear with you. If I still want you, I'm going to say, well, I still want this. If you're sitting there like, you say you want this, but if a girl walks in here, you're gonna do that. No, that's not you being clear. You're not stating to me what you want. What do you want?
Agreed. So in the morning, we see Arabella and Georgia Harrison. They both come back into like the main room. You see Liberty says that she's gonna put on her sexiest bikini. I'm like, I mean, Liberty, that means you're still trying to get Mitch. Like she's playing games a little bit, and I get it. She's doing whatever she can. She's on a dating show, but I think she still needs to keep herself separated and put him on ignore.
I think she needs to put him on ice.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I think that's the way to keep him in this show.
Yeah. So Anton is thinking that him and Georgia Harrison should give it another shot. And I swear, like, Georgia Harrison does not look that excited. She's just like, like, no excitement, in my opinion, of like pursuing something with Anton. Liberty is venting. Obviously, she's still annoyed with the Mitch situation. And then we hear Toby being like, well, until you're closed off, you have to explore. And I'm like, his advice to Mitch is just so annoying. Go ahead.
Wasn't it his season that started this bullshit?
It might have been. Open, I'm open, we're open, we're open. It might have. It might have. It might have. He ruined Love Island.
Yep. Yep.
This whole I'm open bullshit might have been with him. That's the same season as Faye, right?
Yes.
And they're just always wanting the men to be clear. And they're like, well, we're open, we're open, we're open.
Yep.
All right. Well, Molly is crying, of course. And wait, so if she wanted to be with him, she should have just been clear. Like, why are you crying about it now? He doesn't know why you're crying.
I was sitting there like, girl, I have nothing for you. Nothing for your tears. I don't even feel sorry for you.
Oh, and then she's saying, like, if he wanted to rekindle things with her, then he wouldn't be wanting to crack on with anybody. But it's like, well, you told him to crack on with somebody.
Told him to do this, girl. He said he didn't want to. He said he wanted to be clear. He said he wanted to clarify y'all relationship, even if it meant that y'all just supported each other in the villa. You're the one who said, no, go about your business. You're the one who wouldn't pull him for chats. You're the one when y'all are sitting side by side, you're sitting there like this, and he's sitting there like, what's going on to you? Like,
oh my god, it was definitely season 7, so they can get away with this foolishness. Yeah,
yep.
So annoying. So Lewis thinks that it's done, and I think that it's done. I hope that it's done. I hope.
Like I said, I think it was done last episode. But
I know, but I mean, I know that it's done, but like, I think that like the storyline might be done, right?
I don't think
so. Okay, Mary says yes. The men were moving mad on season 7, and then the girls were just getting whiplash every other week.
Yeah,
so annoying. So Toby and Mitch, Josh don't get why Georgia Harrison is mad. So with Georgia sleeping outside, Josh doesn't understand why she's mad about the situation, because she said that we're open, so crack on. Like, they want their cake and eat it too. They want to sleep with whomever they want and not expect them to catch feelings, because they haven't decided that they want to be in a relationship with them
see
yet.
why UK men have 200 body count.
They just don't know how to lock it down and just like be satisfied with like the person that they're with.
Absolutely not.
Chris and Arabella have a chat about mating calls. She entertains his oddness. I probably would entertain it as well, because at least it's interesting.
Yeah.
Like what interesting weirdo thing are you gonna come up with, Chris?
I'm entertained. Stuff like that
too. I'm entertained. No, I'm entertained.
Yeah.
Callum and Georgia chat again, and they talk about her wanting to meet somebody to move to that stage in her life, and he wants to learn the saxophone, which I thought was cute. Mm-hmm. Like, I like learning something about him, right? He wants to learn the saxophone.
Now Callum is open, so we're actually having actual conversations that doesn't end in a stalemate.
But then what was weird, though, was Demi, Lewis, and Toby were still there. So Toby looked like he's trying not to hear this conversation.
Toby's face the entire time that they were talking and having a substantive conversation was like, why are you?
I do think a little bit, though, she was saying some of the things to get under Toby's skin. I do, with being I want someone mature and older that's looking to be in a relationship. It's kind of like the exact opposite of what Toby has been presenting. So I thought it was funny. Mitch and Arabella chat, and chatting with you, Toby, Chris. She likes odd ears. Wait, what? Okay.
Yeah.
It was just a demo combo.
No.
Chatting with you. So she says that she's just chatting with Mitch, Chris, Toby, and Chris. Yeah. And then they were talking also about the fact that
she was talking to Mitch, right? About the audience, right?
Yeah, it's all Mitch. So Josh then tells Molly that he was interested in her immediately. But she also thinks that it was shitty to cuddle Georgia Harrison and then crack on so quick. And so that's a red flag, Josh. And if I was Molly, I'd be like, it's a little bit weird, especially because Molly probably has an inkling that they had something beforehand. You know what I mean? Like, we never might not have seen the whole conversation, but I'm sure Georgia Harrison explained to the girls in detail what the heck happened.
What
with
actually
Josh.
happened. Agreed. And I think that this is where I'm just like, that shouldn't fly. If you have history, like I can respect Callum, and spoiler alert, I can respect Tyler for not, yes, you picked your ex, but not jumping in bed with your ex.
Yep. So Anton and Georgia, I feel, are forcing it. And then he says, like, like they're like in a weird cut. Like, you can tell when people, like, it doesn't look like they fit into each other. It just looks to me very awkward. And he's like saying, like, you know, I wanna push the romantic side of things. And she's like, yeah, like, I think, yeah, I want to get closer and, you know, like, see how things go. And like, I really feel like she's just not into it, and like he wants to get more touchy-feely and more intimate, and like I feel like she will allow that to happen a little bit, because like, but I don't think she's into it, which is, I feel bad.
Yeah, I don't know what she's gonna do, because I think he might be her only option for right now.
Yeah, I think that's what she's feeling. She's like, oh, he's my only option right now. Oh boy. So Toby and Arabella are chatting, and they're flirting and she's asking him, like, what's your favorite feature about me? And he doesn't even want to say what his like. He's just not a good flirt, in my opinion, either. I don't like he
wants it to him.
Yeah.
And potentially he'll reciprocate, but maybe not.
But they have to start it first. Like, because if she was like, oh, I think you have the nicest eyes, he would be like, you have really nice eyes too. You know what I mean? But like, I don't think he would ever be like, you know,
oh, your eyes are beautiful, I really like them.
I'm like, I love the way you make me feel. Like, when I'm around you, like, I feel like awesome. Like, I want to get to know you more. Whatever. Like, he never gives anything. Gives nothing. All I said though was like, I hate this flirting. So Project Steal Your Misses. Who was saying that? I thought it was a good name, Project Steal. It was like a double name with Steal. Steal. I guess it's Callum talking about Georgia. Anyways, I'm not sure. Josh is messy with Anton, talking like he was. I thought that was rude.
He was very rude. He was very rude to Anton. Listen, I'm not the biggest Anton fan. And I don't know why, but I think he said something on a podcast once that I don't think I cared for. But anyway, that being said, Josh, you screwed the pooch. Don't then, because she was interested in him before your ass got there. Whether we believe she was interested or not, she was at least.
There's something going on between them before he got there.
Yeah.
She did say to him, like, listen, like, at this point, like, I do have history with Josh, so I'm going to be putting my energy towards that. Josh then says, like, you know what? Like, we're open. I'm going to move on with Molly. Molly's basically saying, like, well, I don't really like how you moved with Georgia Harrison, like being all cuddly, and then just decided to crack on immediately. And then Josh now going to Anton and saying, like, you're the second option. I'm like,
and I'm going to say this. I know no man who cares about being second option to a baddie.
Ashley here is agreeing. Anton is happy being second choice.
Absolutely.
And so we get a toast. Here's to kissing, flirting, history, and drama in that order. So Josh tells Molly that he wants to pursue her more than Georgia. And then Anton tells Georgia what Josh said. And like, I'm happy that Anton did say this, even though I know it's probably just to like get Georgia a little bit more. But like, I just need Josh not to be able to get Georgia back.
Yeah, absolutely.
Callum is feeling giddy when he talks. Sorry, go ahead. Oh, is it me? So Callum was feeling giddy when he talks to Georgia. Still, I do like them together more than I like him with Molly at this point. So
I mean, it's just a total 180 of personality.
Yeah, he has one.
Yeah. And it doesn't feel like he's being sucked and drained out.
Yeah. I mean, maybe that's what he likes in a relationship because he kind of got that from Shauna, right?
True.
So maybe there's a part of him that like wants to be suffocated.
Mm.
I don't know.
It's
I don't know.
possible. He is very laid back, and I find that men who are laid back like the suffocation because to them it's not acknowledgement. What's that other word?
Men don't want to be suffocated. They're protected, like they are like loved.
Yeah, it's confirmation for them that they are wanted because the
Right.
woman stuck onto them.
Right. Yeah, it gives them confirmation that that they're desired.
Right.
Then Maya Jama shows back, always looking like a baddie. Like she's honestly, I think, the prettiest person I've ever seen in my life.
We need Maya at least once an episode. Just let her pop.
Yeah, why did we have her in the last recoupling? Like she just needs to do all of them.
Yeah, popping.
Poppin'. So Arabella is going to be choosing, and one girl is going to be left single. So, and then they're going to be adding one more bombshell beforehand, and that is going to be Tyler. So you didn't know that Tyler was coming.
Okay, so this is what happened. They sent the first look, and this is the other thing they've been doing, sending the first look and then sending us PR. It's just they used to send us PR and then sending first look. So they sent the first look and they had the guy like kind of at the doorway. And I was like, the night before when I did my recap, I was like, oh, this is like the complete case of the exes right now. Like, and I said personally, none of these exes I'm caring to watch. And so when I looked at it, I was like, oh shit. Don't tell me they're gonna send in Kaz's ex. So then Kaz did a post and they were like, who do you think the bombshell is gonna be in? And I was like, well, at this point, it's the case of the exes, so it's about time for Kaz's ex to show up. And I wasn't wrong.
So is Love Island Allstars just Love Island X on the beach?
It
X in the villa?
Islander, yes.
X in the villa. Love Island X in the villa.
Yes.
I mean, maybe they should have just done that.
I have a whole thing that I think they should have done.
Okay, let me hear.
Okay. So I think, and we talked this out during my podcast, I think they should have brought in the OGs, all-star cast. Then they should have gave them two options. Either
someone new or an ex.
or someone new and someone in all-star that was so interested in them. They were like, I want to date Demi. And then they go on, like Love Connection. They go on the dates with both of them, and then they have to choose. I would have watched that.
I'm like, I'd watch that. I'm in. I'm like, that's like, we should do like a Brant Steele. Like, have you seen those where you just like make those situations happening? We could probably speculate what could happen on these. So,
and I feel like
fun.
That is where they went wrong, especially in the first week. They needed to change this format. You cannot say this is a whole brand new series and then do the same. I don't think that would have worked. And the reason why I don't think that would have worked because when they did that with Love Island Games, the people who even were remotely slightly interested in each other can't date each other because they live halfway across. Deb would be dating Callum right now. Justine would be dating. I mean, they might be dating, but I'm saying they would be more dating that we could see if they lived in the same
potential
country.
with them outside of the
Correct.
show. Yeah.
Right.
And it's a love show, so we kind of want them to stay together.
Right. It's not like Love Island Games where there was other pieces to it that it's okay if they bring them in because even if the romantic part doesn't,
they can still win the show.
Correct. Whereas that wouldn't have worked here. It just wouldn't, which is why I'm saying it the way that I'm saying. There has to be new people who saw Kaz on her original season. I mean, the girl said she dated someone for 6 months. On her original season that wanted to date her and be like, no, I want Kaz. You can't tell me that's not possible. Bring in the new energy, bring in the all-star. Right? Like, I think that would have been better to watch. If you are going to say this is a new series, this is not Love Island Winter, you needed to stage it differently. You can't try to bring the same way you do the show from the original show to this show.
No, yeah, they definitely need to. They needed to switch it up 100%. But they didn't. They did add Tyler though, so you were right about that. He's tall, dark, and handsome, and that's what all the women want. We are reminded that Tyler and Kaz did date after the show for about 3 months. And I said, why are the producers playing Kaz like this? Like, they have Toby in there as an ex for her. They have Lewis that's like definitely was not interested in her, and he was clear about that. And then all of a sudden I hear Demi being like, so like you are only interested in Kaz and me? Like, I don't think he ever was, and I think that the producers forced him to say that she was included in someone that was interested in there. Maybe because she said that she only had interest in Lewis, so making her have somebody.
I think she was interested in Chris, but he was not interested in anybody. Like, he screwed up because going after Molly screwed him. And I didn't feel bad for him. I just saying it screwed.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So, what's his name? Tyler's standing up there and saying, like, yeah, certain chats need to be had. And so Arabella is going up first and saying, I want to steal this boy, because you're basically going to be stealing somebody and leaving a girl single. And she does choose Chris, who was dating or who was coupled with Demi. So Demi is now single.
Good choice, personally.
And it was perfect choice, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And Tyler must now choose a girl that he wants to couple up with. And at this time, he says he wants to choose Kaz. And he was shocked. She's shocked. She's saying, I'm shocked. He didn't really elaborate as to why he wanted to choose her, just saying, like, at this time, like, out of all the people in the villa. And she's just like, what? Like, what's going on? But I have to say, okay, because after this, the shocker of all shocker, Maya Jama and the producers are messy. Lewis, who was paired with Kaz at this point, and Demi, who was paired with Chris, got dumped from the show. And everybody was ugly crying. Now, if say she had chosen, Arabella chose Toby, do you think that Georgia would have been dumped?
No. They would have did a recoupling.
Right. Or just have them be like single, right?
Yeah.
Or yeah, it would have been a whole recoupling. Yeah. I see what you're saying. Now I think this serves Lewis and Demi right. Because if they had been honest about their little clandestine kiss on the terrace, then maybe Kaz would not have chosen him. Maybe she would have chosen Chris or somebody else, be in a friendship couple or whatever. Demi would have had an opportunity to choose Lewis, and Arabella wasn't going to be choosing Lewis, so Demi would have been in the villa.
Yep.
I think that she definitely made a mistake and it's kind of karma came quick.
Yep. I think the producer, first of all, so we know that the ratings started off really well, and then they tanked. Like, they tanked on Friday. They tanked even worse on Sunday.
Really?
Yes. And I think they realized, oh, this is not working. And I regardless of what we were seeing about Demi, I do think a lot of people were finding fault with the way she was moving in the villa. And everybody knew that Lewis or whatever his name is not serious, right? If she had stayed with Chris and actually pursued that, I think it would have been a different story. But yeah, I just think that she really kind of went for the wrong person and then did it the wrong way.
Mary says only we could dump 2 more people. Who are those 2 other people you'd like to see dumped, Mary?
Yeah.
Let me hear.
Girl, let me hear.
So there's the after chat that's going on. It's a new After Sun kind of segment with Maya. They talk about the terrace kiss, and Demi's giggling, obviously, of course. And I do think that if she had been clear with Kaz, things would have been different. Maya calls her out on it, and she's like, "Well, you kind of did have time." Like, I was like, "Yes, Maya, I quote
Thank you, Maya." Everybody said it.
Time.
Even if I don't know if you listen to the podcast, the official podcast, India. God, what's her name? Oh God, from season 5. Amy and one other person who said they like
Oh,
you
yeah.
had time. You had time. There was time.
There was time. There was time. She's like, why didn't you say something? I just didn't have time. Didn't have time. Like, no, you had time. So I do think that they got what they deserved here, unfortunately. Lewis doesn't think that Mitch and Liberty will last. I'm like,
Sure.
well, probably not. You're right.
I don't think so.
But he does think that there could be some potential outside of the villa. And she's like, really? Like, she's really excited about it. I'm like, don't get excited about it. It's not happening.
Get excited. It ain't happening.
All right. Oh my God. We made it to episode 9.
Outside. I give them a week on the outside.
A week? You think it's going to even make it past the airport?
Again, when's the charter flight out?
So episode 9, Kaz is talking to Liberty about how she feels like she had to put the pieces together. And then Kaz is talking to Tyler, being like, so why did you ask me to be your girlfriend? And then he's like, I should have been a better boyfriend. And she felt lonely in the relationship. And so when they actually, I guess, broke up, she just like didn't feel like it was like a big change because they weren't really seeing each other a lot anyways. How do you feel about them having their recap combo?
I do think the piece that's not being talked about here is both of them, and I'm already seeing it again.
Uh-oh.
Both of them were hazed by the public, right? They did very similar things to Cash and Cinco as well. They would send them messages and he doesn't like you. See, he's doing this. Like, and I do think then if you're getting these type of messages
and then you're not seeing them regularly,
right, which I'm also not going to say she's not wrong in her feelings, but we also know that Tyler was studying to be a barrister. He was in, doing real estate. He was working, right? But again, I also don't know if he understood what being a boyfriend meant in that respect. Because he did say today, I trusted you to have those important conversations. And I do feel like we did kind of see that with them. They would have these chats that felt like they were connecting. I just think, and I'm a big quality time person too, that, I'm a Taurus, Scorpio and Taurus. We're like, sister signs. And so if you could be talking to me often, you could be confiding in me, but if I'm not seeing you, I'm not believing you.
Yeah, you need to kind of have certain people need different kind of actions.
And they did it to Dami and India. Understand, they did it to Dami and India too. They tried to do it to Shaq and Tanya, but Shaq and Tanya came off and they just like went into their own world. And India has said, and Dami has said, they don't give a fuck what anybody has to say. So y'all can keep saying it, y'all can keep sending it. They literally don't care. Unfortunately, with Kaz and Tyler, I think it eroded whatever wasn't.
I don't think they were in as stable as like a couple as like those other two relationships,
right?
And so it was able to rocket a little more easily.
Correct.
So then I wrote like, what the hell happened? How did Liberty and Mitch start kissing? And she thinks it's something special there.
That's why I said she's doing this wrong. You need to ice him out more. Ignore.
So they're starting talking to Kaz, and Kaz is just explaining what her conversation was with Tyler. And so she wants to know if it's the door open or closed, and Kaz does say like it's open, but she needs more.
And I don't think they necessarily ended on terrible terms, which is why it's okay to be open. And it's 2 years later, you don't know what could happen, which is why I
could be like you've grown up, you've learned more. Like now you have an opportunity to actually talk. You could see like what actually happened, even though it didn't.
Which is why I like this energy of an ex.
Yeah.
Than what we were getting last week.
Fair. I agree. I feel like we're not going around in circles.
Correct.
like they're going to either try or they're not going to try. And
Right.
if it's not going to work, they're going to be clear and know that they're both moving on.
Correct.
Yeah, I can already tell that it's not wishy-washy and like limbo, like already.
And there's like,
even though he's not super clear, but like.
But he said he's shit communicator. I think he's probably better than I remember him being in the original season. That being said, I'm sorry, I'm a Kyler stan. Their chemistry is never undersold. Sorry.
So Anton and Georgia Harrison are talking, and she says that there's no one that I'd rather get to know than you. And like in like the fine print, it's like, that's in the villa right now. And he's excited, and so he wants to go in for a kiss. And this is how you know she does not want to kiss this man. She stops the moment to say like, wait, where's the breast spray? I thought I was gonna get the Anton breast spray.
Yeah.
And so then she gets the spray and he sprays and they kiss.
Mm-hmm.
If she was into that man,
he's like, I was trying to have a genuine moment. And like, yeah, dude, she don't like it. I'm sorry.
She tried to stop that from, because she didn't want it to be too like
romantic.
Intimate
and
romantic, because she doesn't want you to catch harder feelings, because she knows that she will drop you quite soon.
On the way to Heathrow.
So Molly is not feeling Josh. I'm like, haha, sucker. Like, serves you right, Josh. Georgia tells Callum that she feels like it's her fault that Molly's upset. I'm like, Georgia, just like, stop worrying about it. You're not friends with Molly. Molly doesn't like you. You're dating her ex-boyfriend.
She likes circular conversations, doesn't Georgia? Doesn't she?
Well, I guess it's like to feel relevant.
Maybe. Because I'm like, girl, first of all, she took it about, I think the door is shut. I said, girl, like, please keep it closed then, because you keep opening the door and I'm tired of them.
So Callum in that conversation, though, does mention that Toby had said something to the effect of like, well, you could have her, I could have had her on the outside. Do you remember exactly what he said?
Someone did play back on Twitter, him saying to the boys in the dressing room, but it does sound like it stemmed from a larger conversation prior to that I'm not sure if we were shown, or I kind of remember. So Lewis had said to Toby, like, oh, like, you could have had her on the outside, and he was like, huh, what do you mean? And he's like, you're saying that you could have had her on the outside. And then Callum said, repeats it, and he's like, yeah, I could have had her on the outside. But it kind of sounded like it was more of a confirmation that was his thought process, rather than maybe that's what originally, like, it was like a clarifying
I could conversation. Like, I could have had her on the outside. Like, no, like, not like I could have had her on the outside.
Yeah, no, it wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't the second one. It was definitely the first one. But I think I do remember him saying, I don't know why it didn't, like, we didn't do it on the outside, or why I think he even said it to her, like, we could have done this on the outside. Like, I think they were in an argument, and he's like, well, then why didn't we try on the outside? And she's like, I don't know, why didn't we try on the outside? Do you remember that?
I do remember. I feel like he said it in that context, I believe maybe to Georgia, a few episodes ago. I do feel like, I don't remember clearly, so I could be very wrong, but I feel like it might have been a clarifying comment, but I do think the tone might have been how Georgia perceived it.
Right.
So it could have been like, yeah, I could have had her on the outside, right? As a confirmation, but how he said it could have alluded to, like, if I wanted her, I could have her. And so, but I think that, I don't know if I agree that it wasn't like an original statement of his in that tone, but in the lad's kind of way, I think he was confirming, and the jokingness of it may have come across as disrespectful.
Which is why I'm saying I think that's why he got pissed, because I think he felt like he was being open and honest with the guys. And we know that, again, that's season 7. Those guys, they kept whatever happened in that dressing room to themselves. And I think that's where Toby felt like he was at the same time. And it's not this situation. And listen, if he meant it differently, I'm not taking away from how Georgia felt about it. And I think that's why he was upset, because I don't think he hates the girl. I don't think he wants her to feel like he would in any way slut shame her or whatever it was coming off as. But I do think there was partial twisting of it and partial him being salty and saying it nasty.
So, yeah, I mean, I didn't really feel that he said super nasty to Georgia. I think that Georgia might have received it worse than Callum said it. And so it's kind of like broken telephone twice here, right? So like he might have been like, yeah, I could have had her on the outside. Like, and he has said, like we've already talked about, like he's mentioned something similar in other conversations. I think the way that Callum was like, he might have even meant it in the way like, yeah, like
she wanted it.
Wait, what?
Like she wanted it?
No, like Callum might have even said to Georgia, like, or his intention when he said to Georgia might have been like, yeah, like he felt like if you had tried we could have tried in the real world and why, if it didn't work out, why didn't it work out? Like he might have had intentions of it just being like that, but Georgia received it. No matter what, she received it in the way like, oh, I could have had her if I wanted to have her.
Right. Which is why I was saying, to be fair, I understand where Toby was coming from when he said what he said.
Well, he kicks off like, after though.
Yeah.
And then, so how do you feel about his response? Because it's to me that it's kind of looking a little more guilty.
Right. I think he felt like his words were maybe being twisted, because maybe I don't think he fully meant it like that, or he meant it in a joke way and was saying,
or like a lad banter kind of way.
Right. Because what he said is, oh, you went and told her this and you made her feel a way, and that was never like my intention. And then he said, so don't ask me nothing about nobody. I'm not going to talk about anything to you guys in the dressing room. And so that's what I took it as. Again, Toby's a little more immature. Like, I just don't feel like he understood maybe the ramifications of saying it the way it came off. Correct.
I think the words itself were going to be hurtful to Georgia.
Correct.
The fact that he's having that conversation with other people was hurtful to Georgia. So regardless of his tone, regardless of what he intended on it meaning, the fact that he was saying,
I don't think Callum meant to, like, I think he took it as Callum was meaning it to.
I don't think he was being malicious about
Georgia. I don't feel like anybody was necessarily malicious in this situation. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
I think Georgia got hurt because of the conversation that was the words that were said.
Right.
I think Callum was saying it in a way to. I don't think it was to get her to like him more than Toby. I don't think so.
I think it also might have been just a little questioning. Like, I don't think anybody understands why it didn't work out after Love Island Games, and they can't say why didn't it work out. They can't say why didn't it work out after Love Island Games, right? They can't say that.
What happened? Why can't they talk about Love Island Games?
Right.
So Toby does kick off and confronts Callum. I think Callum was like surprised that it escalated to this, because like I don't think like that he was trying to be malicious, like we've said. And he, Toby's saying like this was boys chat, like you're not supposed to go and tell the girl about the boys chat. And I'm like, yes and no.
Yes and no. I mean, because I think, wasn't it Georgia who said, no, well, like, that's what you want. You want the guy to come back and tell you the conversations he's having. And I kind of agree. Did you ever see that chick Angel when like the woman who sings Give Me 5 Margaritas? I'll have to send it to you. But she she has a thing she just did, a reel or a TikTok where somebody's like, don't tell your husband. Like, don't tell your husband. And she zips down her coat and her husband is like right in. Like, it's too late. You told me. I already know. So
well, it's like me and my best friend. I'm like, don't tell anybody. I'm like, well, everybody except my best friend, right? like, God.
Like, just expect that person is gonna know.
Likely, yes.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I know, like, if I tell my best friend something, I'd be like, I don't know if you should tell your husband, but like, I understand if you do. You know what I mean?
Right.
If you can keep it from him, please. But like, I get it if you feel like you have to tell him. You know what I mean? Right. But like, yeah, I told it. That's really funny though. So Callum does think that he's kicking off because Molly doesn't want him and he has no one. What do you think about that?
Why do they keep saying Callum has no one? Just because he didn't pursue
No, Toby.
Oh, Toby.
Callum is saying this about Toby
absolutely.
because Molly doesn't want him.
Yeah.
Which I'm like interested. Like at this point, Toby doesn't really have anybody.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that part. Mm-hmm. He definitely did all this because he was upset. Like he's like, okay, I've loaned you Georgia long enough.
Yeah. I tried to give you Molly to take her off my hands so that I could have Georgia. Take her off your hands. Mm-hmm. And you just keep on, what's it? The pooch? Screw the pooch. So Chris and Arabella, though, are on the terrace and they're kissing on the terrace and they think that they're a solid couple. And he's like, whoa, these kisses are sex kisses. And she ends up leaving. He has to take a couple minutes to think about Margaret Thatcher because he's very turned on. That was the end of that little scene, and then it's bedtime. Mm-hmm. And in the night cam, we see Chris and Arabella kissing again. They're into each other. I'm happy for them. I know you're only happy for him, but like, I'm happy for them. So in the morning, did someone do a toast? They said, make more and enjoy your time. Oh, they're talking about, they're like in bed and like, they're like, you know, if you want to invest in somebody, like just do it. Like, cause you know, time could be short there and you don't want to lose out. And so they're kind of just
that Lewis and Demi dumping shook everyone. And wait till they find out there was no vote. We did not vote nothing.
What do you mean
I don't know if they realized that they just got dumped. Like the producers just dumped them.
No, well, they got dumped because of Arabella and Thing picking them.
Right. But I don't know if they realize how the show is being staged.
Oh, that there's no votes at all.
Right. Like nobody voted to send Tyler in for Kaz. Like nobody voted to send Arabella in for anybody. Gotcha. Right? Like there's not been voting since the beginning. This is just based on how y'all are moving, basically.
So Tyler does say that he had to choose Kaz because he hasn't seen her in 2 years, and like I do think he has to choose Kaz. As I also thought that Callum had to choose Molly. Yeah. Like you just kind of have to.
I said this on a Twitter space last night because somebody was like, "They're not going to go anywhere. Why did he's not?" I said, "I don't know if he's interested in her."
If they didn't, I would be like, "You're the rudest mother."
Right. I'm like, just like with Callum and Molly. If you come into the villa and your ex is sitting there, if there's even a tiny, teeny little iota of a potential, you have to choose your ex, because if you then come around and say, I realize I think I'm still in.
Sorry, no, not enough to choose me.
No.
Yeah. So yeah, you got to just like see what happens and like move from that position, because even if you don't choose your ex, I think all the other women in the villa would just be like,
like, why didn't you choose Kaz? You want nothing to do with her at all?
It's like awful. That's so mean.
Like
it's like if we ever broke up, like that's how you would treat. Like it's just not a good look all around. So Arabella is talking about the kisses that they had, and everybody's like, ooh, of course. Then we see Anton in the last chat in the morning thinks that the kiss with Georgia was good. And then we see Georgia saying that there's no spark, but you know, anytime I had sparks in the relationships were toxic, so I'm going to try something new. It's true. It's true. I understand this logic, but she's not interested. She is dry as the Sahara Desert down there, and she is not attracted to this man. So Toby thinks that Callum is a dweeb.
Again, maturity.
I mean, it's fine for him to think that he's a dweeb, but like Callum is actually better at getting the girl, though. Liberty is talking, and she is telling that talking to Tyler, saying that Kaz deserves that queen shit, which is good. I'm happy that Liberty is there supporting her girl.
Mm-hmm.
And Tyler does say that it's early days. I'm sick of this early days bullshit. Like now we're on day 9. There might be on day 10 or 11 in the villa. Like it's not that early. You're a quarter of the way through about now. Like maybe you should start being interested in somebody or not hoping that someone new is coming around the corner.
Mm-hmm. I mean, but for Tyler, he wasn't in the villa for 24 hours, so I'm gonna give him that.
Okay, fine. It's early days for him, but not early days for their relationship, though.
No, but I also think
I agree, though.
I think if he had been hugging up and kissing up on her in bed the night before, people would have said he's using her.
That's true. Yeah.
And because we're already seeing people saying he doesn't like her, he did it because of the whole Hannah thing that's supposed to happen. But it's like, again, I think he's doing it correctly, because if he just went in there, made a beeline for her, and started hugging up and kissing on her, y'all wouldn't believe that shit either.
No way. Wait, as I said, we've been calling out Georgia saying that she's faking it. I said she's not into that man that met her dry as the Sahara Desert. Like,
are you tuning out when Chantele keeps saying she said it like 50 billion times? Or do I need to say it? Georgia's faking it, but I think I have. So I don't know.
We do not believe Georgia is interested in Anton at all.
I think I might have been using quotation marks, but I mean that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying the same thing.
She don't like that man.
She
don't like that man. So Callum and Molly are having another conversation, and it's we talked about it already. You never pulled me for a chat, and then she's crying, and he leaves, and she calls over Arabella to comfort her, and she says that he's a selfish person with his feelings, and I think he's just sick of you, Molly, and he wishes that he didn't have to deal with you anymore because you guys are broken up for a reason, and the potential of maybe trying to work on things is not working because you guys don't know how to communicate with each other.
Right. And I think he gave you time to figure it out. And you were, I don't want to say
okay, fine.
Okay. And you were I don't want to say she was disrespectful, but you were not working with him. And so now he's just like, you're fired. And so I don't need to work with you on this. We're just going to do this on self-employed. You go there, I'm going to go here, and we'll figure it out at the end. And I think that's where he is about this.
Well, and the whole he's a selfish person. I think that she's actually being a little bit of a selfish person.
She's absolutely a selfish
because
person.
She's crying over and telling him to do stuff, and then crying about it, and then she wants him to do everything the way that she wants it done without actually even telling him about it.
There's no way there's nothing he was going to be able to do to make anything right.
Yeah, so now she's in her feelings. Yeah, Molly is getting stale. She is stale. Yeah. Stale. Cal talks to Anton and doesn't think that he wants them to get back together. That Cal wants to get back together with Molly, and I agree with that, Anton. Mm-hmm. I do agree.
I think she just might be showing to him this is whatever they were having a problem with in their relationship. I think she just might be continuing to show it at this point, and or even just at the end of the relationship, and he's done.
Now Molly though wants to manifest a man. I'm just if a man came in for you, Molly, you'd still be all about Callum. I just don't see anybody being able to distract her from it.
I was if we're manifesting men, manifest one for Kaz. Why are we manifesting one for you, Molly?
You have lots of men there looking for you.
And Shauna just had a baby. I think she's with somebody. Absolutely no. I'm good. She can
I
stay
think
where
Mary's
she's.
trolling.
Yeah.
Rachel says what Molly wants is for Callum to declare that there's no other woman in the villa or the world for him, and anything less will be an issue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, again, if engagement was on the line, I get it. I get that part.
But if he's not willing to get engaged, that is a very clear statement that he does not want to move to that level of relationship with you.
Absolutely. And no pretending that it doesn't affect you or doesn't mean anything to you is going to get you through this. Therapy will only get you through that part.
Mm-hmm. I've got a text, says Arabella. Her and Chris are going to be going on a date. Hashtag test the waters. Hashtag or sometime. Or sometime. So
I'm like, the producers like Chris and Arabella, obviously, because
there's no other couples.
Right? Why is this the first date?
There's no other couples. Who else are going to give a date to? Mitch and Liberty? They're the next ones for sure, but like that's it. So I like them together. They're going on a rowing date and they have champagne and they talk about this being their first dates. And she wants to have a little bit more of a serious chat with him, asking him why he makes so many jokes. And he does say it's because of insecurity, which we know. We get that. And she does say that she feels that it's to keep people from really getting to know the true him, his true self, which I think is true as well. And I do like the fact that he opened up here a little bit. It became a little bit real. Because then, like, once you know a little bit more about somebody, like, he's not going to be jokey all the time. He's going to be a little bit more connected and real all the time. So I do think this was progress for their relationship.
Yeah.
And then they kiss again.
I like that she said,
Rachel says, who asked for a date for these two? Send Georgia and Callum for the drama.
I like that she said that, listen, because he said, when I've been in some serious relationship, I lose that part of me. And she's like, you should never lose that part of you. Like, that's what makes you you. And I want you to keep that part. And I can appreciate that she said that, because I agree. I don't think that, like, that is what makes Chris. And
but it won't be the mask all the time.
Correct.
You know what I mean? Which I think
you can let the wall down, but you should not erode the wall. No.
Like, it's definitely part of him. Like, I love him being a jokester, but I think that he won't need to use it all the time.
Correct.
And I think that it will be. I think it just deepened their connection, and like I think she saw him for who she was, and I think it was positive.
And see, she asked genuine questions because she was genuinely potentially interested in the. Whereas Molly was like, I can't tell who the real Chris is. He won't stop joking. He tells the truth sometimes. She never asked. She really didn't care.
Yeah. Well, she doesn't have any depth, though. In my opinion. Danita says Liberty should have known that when she and Mitch didn't get a date, that no one takes them seriously as a couple.
Oh yeah, like I when she sat there and said, "Oh, my bestie doesn't think that me and Mitch have been coupled up. She doesn't think that we're a strong couple. What is she seeing that I'm not seeing?" I'm like, she's seeing what everybody else is seeing.
She's seeing what you're seeing, like a day ago.
like he didn't want you. You were a second option, like he said it.
Third option, I think, actually.
I mean,
wasn't he talking to somebody else too?
Demi, second option. She left. Arabella. I mean, still second option across the board. So Liberty, I need you to be for real. Like, this is not. Be open to the potential of something else happening.
I hope so. So Callum talks to Georgia Steele, telling her that it's done, and they have a little cuddle, and she's excited about this potential. I'm excited about this potential because I want him to not talk about Molly anymore. I want her not to talk about Toby anymore, and I want them just to see if there's something between them. So hopefully that works. Tyler and Hannah. they're having a conversation and nobody's stuck it on her yet, and they kind of, you know, have like a nice conversation. She likes Tyler's vibe. And when they're walking away, she's like, "Oh, you're tall." She's like, "Yeah, I'm 6'5". 6'5" is a sexy height. Not gonna lie. Not gonna lie. Georgia does talk to Toby. They talk about something that was going to happen. It would have happened. And so she just says, "It's done. To be fair, it's done." And so hopefully it's done. Do you think it's done?
She said the door is closed, and I said, yes, please keep it shut.
Lock it.
Lock
Throw
it.
away the key.
Please.
Yes, Georgia does close the door. Tyler and Kaz are talking, and he asks her if she's glad he's here. She does say yes. He mentions that he reached out to her a few times, and she said that they didn't really spend that much time together, so she wasn't missing him when they broke up. It was just kind of like, oh, you know, last week, you know, it didn't really affect her. But he does apologize to her. So
I personally feel like Tyler's played this really correctly. He's been apologetic. I think he's been very verbal that there's no issue between him and her, that there was, like, he respected her. He thinks that she was a great person. It just didn't work at the time. And when she said, "Oh, you know, you wanted to take a break," and I was like, "I don't do break." Thank you. See, Liberty, I needed to watch Kaz just a little more. He's not watching her enough for me.
Barry gets dizzy talking to tall guys, short kings forever.
No, I'm sorry. Nothing like looking up at a guy, him looking down at you and smiling. So
I had to go on my tippy toes for
yes, yeah. I'm sorry. Nothing like it. Nothing like it.
I love it. Sorry, Mary. You can leave all those tall kings for me. Me and Mika.
Same.
Chris and Arabella do return from their date. Anton and Georgia were cuddling. I felt it looked forced as heck. She was probably super happy when Arabella returns so she could get out of this very uncomfortable embrace. The girls have a chat. Arabella tells them about the kiss. Everybody's cheering and excited. You know, Arabella feels that they're in the same stage in life. What was the line? All the lasagna layers of Chris. Oh, yeah, she's learning more, peeling back all the lasagna layers of Chris. The boys talk, and he says that she made me go deep. And he's really happy and positive about where the relationship is going so far. So am I. Everybody's getting ready for the night, and someone makes a cheers saying, Tyler makes a cheers saying it's to my first night. No stress and no challenges with your ex. Yeah, right. So they're going to be playing a game called Popping Off, where, I don't know, do you want to go through all of them? There's just quite a few little games going back and forth where you had to like choose somebody to pop a balloon in a sex position, and then inside the balloon was going to be a dare. Georgia Harrison had to suck some alcohol out of someone's belly button. Did she choose Anton in the end? She did, right?
I think I might have looked away because I didn't want to see. I don't know.
Chris chooses Kaz to scissor her. She's wearing a skirt. I was like, it's inconsiderate. She's like, to scissor her to pop the balloon.
Yeah.
And then he had to give someone a striptease. He gave it to Kaz. Now, why do you think he gave it to Kaz and not to Arabella?
I don't know, but or was it he had to do it to the person he's not coupled up with? Exactly.
Frank right next to look at you.
Exactly. Like, oh, my neck. Oh, okay. That being said, I was like, Chris, this was the energy I needed from you last week. Like, where was this energy? Like, you could have gave this to my girl Kaz last week. Like, why were you paying attention to Molly, dude?
Well, you know what though? If he was with Kaz and he still had the same vibe with Arabella, then Kaz might have gone home. So let's just be happy with the way that it turned out. Right?
Yeah. But I'm like, I like this energy.
Yeah, no, he's fun with her.
Yeah.
Maybe he feels that like it's not it could be bad in the sense where it's like he feels like Arabella's not going to think that there's anything seriously going on to be
Which
jealous.
is what I said earlier. I'm not sure. She takes Black women seriously in relationships.
Oh, as a threat. Interesting, actually. So Kaz thinks that this is Chris's bachelor party before he gets locked down into a relationship with Arabella, which I think is also kind of funny.
Yeah, I thought that was funny with Kaz. Kaz didn't take offense to it.
Man, don't say this out loud, but you're right, Rachel. Rachel says that I feel like we do this with the Black girls. They choose them for challenges, but never want to be in a couple with them.
Absolutely. Which is why
true. We've talked about this before.
Black women, men that like Black women, and then you wouldn't have that.
That's true. Tyler and Kaz have to pop the balloon doggy style, and Tyler has to snog the Islander that he wants to kiss most. He snogs Kaz. Arabella has to choose two people to snog. She chooses Chris and Toby. Kaz and Tyler again, and she has to put people with the potential relationships and least potential relationships. She chose Chris and Arabella for the most potential in a relationship, and least was who was it?
Anton and Hannah.
Hannah and Anton, yeah,
because they were, and I was like, very well done, Kaz. And somehow still Liberty was upset about it. I'm like, girl, she could have put you for
yeah, like she's probably like, oh, I'm not going to put Liberty as least compatible couple here. But Liberty does not know why she didn't say her and Mitch. Like, she's listened to you for the last week, girl. So Mitch has to fake an orgasm in Liberty's ear. That was awkward.
It was gross.
I didn't like that.
I didn't like it either. I'm like, I hope that's not how you
don't make me sick.
Don't do that.
So gross. Ew. Hannah and Tyler kiss. I don't remember why or how. Josh and Georgia steal. Who turns them on, and Josh kisses Molly. Georgia has to choose who's boyfriend material. She chooses Callum. Girlfriend material, Callum chooses Georgia. And Toby has to pick who has the perfect face, body, and personality. Chooses Molly's face, Kaz's body, and Arabella's personality.
I'm so glad Kaz did not take offense to that. Because I think the last time this happened, was it Scott or was it Mitch that did it last season? And however it went badly. And Kaz was like, listen, I would choose me too.
Molly has to choose who that she'd go to the hideaway with. Toby. 3 sex positions with, I don't know who did it. So Anton, Kaz, I don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, Anton
chose Kaz?
Chose Kaz, yeah.
To do 3 sex positions with? I didn't watch.
I watched like one of them. But that's the only reason why I know it was him.
Arabella had to choose who would talk behind other people's back. She chose Messy Mitch, of course. Toby has to choose whose clothes he wants to rip off. He chooses Molly. Mitch has to choose who is most loyal. And he says Toby and least Arabella. What?
Just random and weird.
And then he's like, just a game, sweetheart. Just a game. Like, Mitch, I don't know what you're doing here. And did I say Mitch is a bitch, or did somebody else say Mitch is a bitch?
I don't know. I don't remember that happening, but
it might have been me. Mitch is a bitch. Because, like, I don't know why he, like, most loyal is Toby. He's actually not loyal at all, to be honest. In the last week, what we've seen, I don't feel like he's being loyal, in my opinion. And I don't see how Arabella's being the least loyal.
Yeah, that part I didn't understand. He's just mad she didn't choose him, but she was never going to choose him.
Oh, okay. So that's why, because like he thought that they had some sort of connection talking about their eye color, and so she's the least loyal because she decided to go with someone that she has a connection with.
I actually think that man thought that she was going to choose him. He has that big of a big head.
So Rachel says it was initial in season 9 with Tom, season 10 with Sammy, who chose Jess for personality. Right. That's a problem. Season 9 with Tom. What did Tom who did he do it for?
I don't listen. There's parts of that season I blocked out.
So many people have called Mish a bitch. Pick anyone. I think it was me though. I think it was me. Okay, we made it through all 3 episodes. Thank you, Tamika. Did we miss anything?
No. So I do again want to state, because there was a preview for tomorrow. So tomorrow, Tom is coming in, and so is Sophie from season 6. And
I don't remember Sophie.
Connor's Sophie. I think she's biracial.
Oh, Sophie, and she has like the sisters that she looks a lot alike, and she was with the guy with the teeth.
Yeah.
I like Sophie.
Yeah. Yeah. She did some weird stuff after the season. So I gotta stop paying to after the season, because they be outing themselves of who they really are. Anyway, and people are mad because it looks like Hannah kisses Tyler, and I'm like, you guys don't want a journey for Cass. Like, you just, because if he had come in, like I said earlier, and just stuck it on her, they would have said, oh, he's fake, he's just trying to win this, he doesn't really want her. He is still exploring his option. We don't even see any of him in Cass. We don't know what conversations they had. We don't know what happened. We only see that it looks like Hannah kisses him, because again, he's the only potential she would have to kiss, and it didn't look like he was going to push her away. They're upset because he's not staying on code and just going after Cass, which I'm like,
well, maybe we don't even know what happened. Like, maybe they're in a challenge. Maybe they're like, Kaz has decided like that she doesn't want to explore things. Like, we don't know what's going to have happened at this point.
Right. And so,
I mean, I'm sad though that like that it could be that Taz doesn't get to like explore this properly, but
right. I'm like, allow her to be the it girl, and allow the journey. Let's watch the journey rather than putting y'all own little insecurities on the situation. Because while y'all can say, oh, after 2 years, he better know that he wants me or not, that's not how that works. It's not how that works.
Well, I hope that he wants to pursue something with Kaz, and she's interested in herself, and they are able to, if they both want it, it works out for them.
He did say today that he's not putting pressure on himself, because she asked what Disney. He's like, I'm not putting pressure on myself that it has to be this way. So I'm confused that why he's not even sure yet if he actually wants to be a boyfriend. Why would you think he wants to be a baby daddy or stepdaddy with Hannah? Like, can we be for real, people?
Tom chose Zara for her body, and she bit his head off. Yes. Was she dating Tom at the time?
She was. I think he had dumped her for Olivia or whoever, somebody. I think he had dumped her at that point.
Oh, I remember. Tom's really young too, right?
I can't remember. I think so. I think he might be 20. He was 21 on their season.
Yeah. Okay.
You know what? I can tell. I can tell you because they sent me PR. So hold on.
They need to bring someone for Hannah. Where is Teddy? Teddy. I don't know if Teddy would be good for Hannah, but
Teddy, Hannah. I don't know about that.
Is blonde with like fillers?
Sophie's 24. Yeah, Tom is 24. So yeah, I think he was around like 21, 22 when he was in the villa last. So yeah.
I remember them thinking he was just really young. I'm like, why are bringing these 21-year-olds or whatever, 22-year-olds in here?
Yeah.
Okay, well, Tamika, thank you so much for being here. What do you have going on in your channel that you can share with the people?
So I'm covering Love Island UK also on my channel, just different format. And I am covering Traders US also on my channel with Miss T Joy and Janelle Michelle. So we should be back, I think, on Friday to chit chat about that. And right now, that's about it. I may do a scripted series next month because there's a couple of scripted shows that are coming that I'm excited for. So we will see. Because I highly doubt I will cover Love is Blind in a
I
recap.
might do it. So if you want to pop up every once in a while,
Okay.
I might.
Okay. I'm concerned about that season.
I haven't looked at the contestants yet.
I was a little concerned because they did a promo with both season 6 and season 7, and I'm like, so does that mean that season 6 is unsuccessful? So you're trying to also push season 7?
Well, they were taped at the same time,
right? Which still concerns me. And they're on their second or third lawsuit. So also not.
Please. Oh, okay. Which city is it in?
I think Dallas or Nashville or something. One of the two.
They're very different.
Yeah. I mean, they're not far off, but yeah.
Rachel, where is it? So there's a girl that I work with that I've known for a long time. We studied tarot together and astrology and Charlotte, North Carolina. Okay, different. And so she's an actress, but she's a little bit nervous about potentially doing any recaps. And so she does watch this show. And I was like, well, how about we try doing a meet the cast and you can see how you feel. So we'll do a meet the cast to see if she's feeling it. And then maybe we'll consider covering the season.
Okay, well, let me know. I will definitely pop in. I will say I'm interested to see the latest one that they're casting for because they were casting for 55 plus.
Oh, why not 40 plus?
I don't know, because I definitely would have reapplied.
Maybe just still apply because, like, maybe if they get a lot of people that are just like a little bit under.
It's not in my area.
Oh,
it's not in my area. But I was saying that I'm like, so why couldn't y'all do this 440 up? I don't understand. But I think they saw the success for the Golden Bachelor, and so they did 55 plus.
Oh boy. Boy, oh boy. Oh, look at this. Sweet. You're from Charlotte. I'm from Greenville. That's fun. Maybe you guys are going to be friends in real life. That's fun. Also, I have another thing to question to see if anybody's interested in. So, some of you might know I work as a flight attendant, and I've definitely been writing a TV series about like my experience in flight life and all that jazz. But I was working with a friend of mine. And she was like, would you want to start talking about our flight experiences on your channel? And I said, I have been interested in doing that, but I didn't know who would want to. And she's like, I would. So I'm curious if there is interest if we start talking about the life of a flight attendant and the insane stories that we experience on a day-to-day basis. Is that something that you're interested in? So just let us know. And if there's interest, it will be a go. And what kind of day would you like to see it on? Right now we were toying with a noon-ish on a Sunday. So let us know if you're interested in that. In the comments below. Let us know about Love is Blind. Let us know who you think that Sophie and Tom are going to be going in for. Do you think that there will be a dumping with their choice? Let us know all of the above. All right, everybody. Thanks for being here. Thank you, Tamika, for being here for these last 3 hours. I appreciate you. And we'll talk soon. Bye, everybody.
Bye, guys.
Make sure you